Well, good evening, race fans. Welcome to the first ever APC eSERIES race, live from Virtual USA Speedway in Lakeland, Florida. This is the APC series, getting set to get after it, joined by my buddy Justin Prince. Justin, all set to go tonight?
Yes, indeed. These drivers are all set to go, especially for this last chance race to punch their tickets into the show as they wait at the flag stand.
Green flags out, and they'll work down into turn one. Jordan House taking an early lead. Burbridge, there's a guy going around in the middle of 1-2. Burbridge now down the backstretch. Green's still out.
And
Jordan House, your leader off turn 4. And it looks like everybody's checked up. Caution flag will be coming out here in the hooligan race. Last chance to get into the show, Justin.
yes, indeed. Drivers spent the past 5-10 minutes qualifying to get in the top 24 positions in solo qualifying. Top 8 from this last chance race move on to the 32-car show. The reason for the incident, though, Shea Gemmell got hit from behind in the middle of turn 1 and 2 to bring out the caution flag, but shortly after, there was 3 wide that triggered a second crash under the yellow. Mike Bentley, one of the quickest cars in practice in 10-lap stints, was involved along with a couple others. So, Jamie, this has been an interesting night already so far tonight. Remember, this is the first time many of these competitors, in some cases, are in a major competition such as this on the iRacing service. Many of these competitors have been preparing all week long for what has been a big event, Jamie.
Yeah, a lot of guys have borrowed rigs, got equipment ready for tonight. Jordan House, you can see the in-car from his racer following the pace truck under the flag stand and down into turn 1 here. 3 laps on the board. Jordan Sim was quick. Let's see if he can make his way to the front. He'll restart up inside the top 5. I did get a chance to talk to Sean Chenoweth, who's in this last chance race as well this week. He was explaining that he says like a big video game. He hauled his buddy simulator out, got all set to go with it, and said there's not a whole lot that transfers back to real life for him, but we've also seen APC stars like Trayton Lapsovich, who locked himself into the show, and he's done quite well racing top quality late model competitions in the States.
Yeah, absolutely, Jamie. You got to remember the Lapsoviches have a lot of sim racing experience. They race a lot of the super late models. They compete against some of the best setup builders in those cars all the time on the iRacing service. And they're also a part of the Bobby Dale Earnhardt Legacy Esports, our Road to Pro team that's looking to make the eNASCAR Pro Championship this upcoming season in 2021. So there's a lot of pressure for those drivers who have major rigs and have spent a lot of time preparing for tonight's action. At the same time, Jamie, though, you have to remember that there's a couple drivers that are at the other end of the spectrum. Some drivers may have set up on their computer desk for tonight's action. Heck, DJ Kennington was given a shuttle today by one of the NASCAR spotters. He's set up in his fab shop, or race shop I should rather say, on his fabrication table for this race today.
It's like Timmy Hill. He can beat all the best in NASCAR using an old desk and a $250 steering wheel. Whip the guys with the big money sims.
Exactly. But these drivers just about to take the green, Jamie, as they head towards the start and finish line.
Burbridge crowding House on the restart. House will be the control car, getting all set to go here out of turn 4. Trevor Culver will roll off 3rd. Eric Della Riva runs 4th. He's already registered for the 2020 APC rookie class. House will jet his way out front. He takes an early lead over Burbridge out of turn 2.
Trouble in turn 2. In fact, Cole Powell hit the wall. No caution flag. Rest of the field continues to rumble the way towards the front straightaway. Top 4 drivers the bottom, but a door swing. Jordan Sims up the track. More cars spin on the front.
Tom Gibbons, I believe he hit hard on the inside wall. Oh, Nagy. Hudson Nagy in the 63 took a lick. Chenoweth involved as well. Chaos off turn 4 here early on in the last chance race. And see how it started, Justin, but wow, I saw how it finished.
Yeah, absolutely. There was multiple drivers struggling to get onto the bottom or stick the bottom rather, all the way up to Matt Lockwood, who cut the apron, then doored the 47 of Sims up the racetrack. Then Chenoweth hit the grass. Everyone else just followed him soon and got loose, and everyone then piled up down the front straightaway. My goodness, Jamie. I know there's a lot of pressure to get yourself into the field tonight, but not the way some of these competitors wanted this to go with already significant damage.
Yeah, it all started with Chenoweth got loose, and they just backed right up behind him. DJ Kennington involved in that, I believe, in the 17.
Yep, absolutely. In this point, already drivers coming down the pit lane to get some damage repaired at this point. It's not been as smart a start some of these competitors wanted, but it was expected. There was a lot of aggression going to be throughout this field tonight because there's a lot of tire fall off for these drivers. Up to 0.6 of a second of fall off in the span of 10 laps for drivers in practice. Plus the track slowed down by about 1.5 according to drivers such as Dale Shaw. So it was expected to be difficult tonight to be able to carry apex speed especially.
I think the whole key tonight is going to be survival. I'm sure we'll revisit that topic throughout the evening, Justin. It's going to be tough for a lot of these guys who've never done this before, and it's really going to be a test of whether you've been able to thread your way through the wrecks that we might see here this evening.
It's also going to be a test, too, of your ability to adapt, because one thing to note, these drivers do have fixed setups tonight, Jamie. That means all the cars have the same setup, no differential except maybe steering offset, brake bias, and really steering offset in terms of how many degrees you might be offset from center. Everything else you've got to try and adjust to how the car feels, and many of these competitors tonight had a universal opinion. It can be tight, especially apex, and can be loose off the corners here tonight, meaning it can be tricky to handle and could be very important to save your tires for the long run if you get one.
It was interesting to note that most of the times in the 45-minute practice session that led up to qualifying tonight, everybody's times were early on in the session. So it seemed like the more that everybody got laps in, even if they came in to change tires, nobody was able to pick up in the later stages of practice.
Exactly, and that comes again down to the track really gripping up for some of these competitors and trying to get adjusted to things. In total, more than 20 competitors put in runs of 5+ laps, about 7 or so, at least 10 laps or more runs together to try to adapt to that. And remember, on iRacing, there is something called dynamic track, which means the track will dynamically change and the lines will dynamically change throughout the night tonight. One to go, though, for the green flag, Jamie.
Well, we'll get another restart here. Shea Gemmel, he's got some work to do from the back of the pack. We'll see if that number 3 can make his way forward. Jay Dewar, all in, out of London. He's on the inside of row 3. He'll be restarting behind Burbridge. Telleriva on the outside of the front row. And again, on point since we've started this last chance qualifier, the number 8, Jordan House. Trevor Culver, he'll restart 4th. Matt Lockwood up to 6th now. Top 8 will move on to the 100-lap feature. Green flag getting set to fly, and it is in the air.
Good launch by House to get himself into the bottom of turn number 1. Everyone trying to gold rush their way to the bottom. Culver gets turned. Check up off turn 2. More cars spin. No caution flag. Sims gets put in the wall. Bentley's upside down. Now the caution's out with our 3rd yellow already.
Mike Bentley lights out like a helicopter down the backstretch. I believe Lockwood might have got into the back of Culver.
Yeah, he absolutely did, Jamie. He hit the left rear quarter panel, I believe, actually on Culver and set Culver around. That's what checked everybody up. And then everyone just kept on piling on into the backstretch to turn 2.
Jamie Cox, nifty little piece of driving to get to the outside, and Chenoweth took a little bit of a shock coming through, but a good job snaking his way through. Went from the back of the pack just a couple laps ago all the way back up into a transfer spot there.
Really good avoidance of the incident there, Jamie.
Yeah, when Lockwood got into the back of the one at Culver, that was when he checked up and Dewar got into the back of him. So they're ripping off some fiberglass here early, some virtual fiberglass, Justin. It's been a rough going. 5 laps to go, though. This should be a hairy finish.
Yeah, it's looking like that at this point, as these drivers, again, have been fighting very aggressively, to say the very least, Jamie, to get themselves into that top 8. In other words, if you're Cole Powell, watch out behind you. Remember, that 73 took a hard right into the wall before one of the early caution flags, has significant integral damage, so there's a chance some drivers might try and take advantage of that, such as Matt Lockwood, and dive to the inside line and try and make a pass.
And I did misidentify that 22 car up into the top 5. It's actually Petey Shepard behind the controls of that APC Total Lubricants number 22. Both he and Jamie Cox will be behind 22 machines here this evening. So far, Jordan House has had a pretty easy time avoiding any of the mishaps here tonight. He's just held serve every time they dropped the green flag, and that's been the whole key.
Absolutely, and that was talked about by many drivers tonight in discussions with them to see their opinion on what to expect strategy-wise tonight. To put it simple, be at the front was the consistent and concurrent answer from a lot of the drivers. There's a problem with that theory, though, Jamie. Not everybody can be at the front, so it could be interesting to see the gold rush of drivers trying to get themselves to that spot tonight.
Again, it's going to be quite a shootout here at the end. Hudson Nagy finds himself 6th. Jordan Simmons in 7th. Cole Powell up into 8th. He was involved in an earlier mishap. He's worked his way back into one of those final transfer spots. Former NASCAR wheel and modified driver. Assembles now down into turn 1, double wide behind the pace truck. Host Della Riva on the front row. Rick Burbridge run up front most of this last chance race. In the 2, the Blue Deuce will roll off 3rd. Shot from your leader's car, Jordan House. Della Riva on the outside, waiting for House to go. Another brilliant restart by Jordan House.
2 laps to the side as they go back into 1 and 2. Once again, more trouble in the back. And a slam hard to the wall for Gibbons. Brings out the caution flag again, Jamie. 2nd green-white checkered attempt out of 5 now for the field, Jamie.
Yellow flag flies. This will be attempt number 1 at green-white checkered.
And this is not what some of the drivers wanted. Remember, you have to see the white flag for this race to be official to punch your tickets in. So the more restarts you get, the more likely there's a chance you get involved in trouble. That puts you out of the top 8 positions, and I don't know if that's what some of these competitors want at this point of the race.
Well, it's going to get hairy in the Hornets' nest back from about 6 on back. We saw Shea Gemmel spin under caution there on the front stretch. Big hats off to Shea and his wife Rachel, little baby there a couple months ago. We're going to rejoin the back of the field. It's House out front. Still Della Riva in second. Burbridge third. Pete Shepard fourth.
Yeah,
Chenoweth up in the fifth now.
Jordan Sims up to 6th position, Cole Powell in 7th, Hudson Nagy in 8th position, Matt Lockwood in 9th, Mike Bentley rounding up the top 10. The rest of the field, Culver, Kennington, Gibbons, Grossman, Smith, Gemmel, Ramsey are the last remaining drivers on the racetrack. Should note though, Jamie, the 34 of Luke Ramsey is 3 laps down on the circuit.
This is the thing you gotta love about virtual motorsports. Mike Bentley was pulling the helicopter down the backstretch just a little while ago. Now he's 10th and 2 spots away from transferring into the feature. It just buffed out.
Well, remember, these drivers did have a faster pair available for this heat, and some of those drivers did take those massive hits, so it was either not move on, not use the faster pair, or use that opportunity. We're told to be careful tonight, mind you, with that too, to keep that in mind for the racing. So that in turn means these drivers going to not have, if they get involved in our incident here, Jamie, in this last chance race, the race is essentially done. Still lined up though behind the iRacing official pace car here at USA International Speedway. For those tuning in, glad to have you with us for the APC eSERIES, the first eSERIES event in the history of the APC United Late Model Series. Drivers getting all set to go in the next couple laps or so to take the one-to-go signal for green-white checkered attempt number 2 to try and punch these drivers' tickets into the 32-car main event tonight. There's the one-to-go signal, Jamie. Should be another exciting restart.
House Della Riva. On the front row, Burbridge. 22 of P.D. Shepard. The 89 of Chenoweth completing the top 5. 2x2 down the backstretch. Pace truck getting ready to dive on the pit road. We'll turn them loose off turn 4. Green, white, checkered. Take 2. They'll make their way down into turn 1. Everybody's good. First 6 get single file. Sims gets booted to the top side. Williams in the wall. In 1 and 2.
Hudson Nagy.
Burbridge now. He goes into the fence. I believe I was off the nose of the 89. Yellow will come out. We'll see if the third time's the charm, Justin.
And I don't know what Chenoweth was thinking right there, Jamie, because the caution was out for a good 5 seconds, and he just absolutely floored it into the back of a 2 car. You need to be heads up in terms of those types of situations. And now Rick Burbridge might fall out of the last chance race and out of a chance to make the feature because of that.
Penthouse to the outhouse for Burbridge. I guess his Chenoweth just missed the yellow. Didn't see who that was that went in the wall.
The 63, Hudson Nagy, Jamie, it was, who got really squirrely off somebody's nose in 1-2. Hudson Nagy ended up getting swung around, trying to battle with Lockwood, Bentley, and Culver, and a couple others, and just got helped around by the 51 machine, who gave him a shot, and Nagy just slammed hard right at the Casa Motor Speedway machine.
House and Della Riva are just going to outlast him here. Take number 3 coming up. Shepard into 3rd, Chenoweth up into 4th now. At London Recreational Racing number 89C, the Plattsville driver. Like I saw his virtual fans in the stands right by the start-finish line, about 3/4 of the way up. Usual spot.
Yep, indeed, such a beautiful track, you have to say, though, here. And the reason they chose this track, Jamie, is because it is the most resembling of Delaware Speedway in real life. For those that are tuning in for the first time to an iRacing event, iRacing does not currently have a track that is on the APC schedule. In turn, the discussion was brought about what's the most familiar track that is similar to what is raced in real life. Answer was, for the case of Delaware, USA International Speedway. There are some differences though. For example, straightaway's a little bit longer here at this racetrack. You don't have the hillside on the exit of turn number 2 to deal with. It's also, however, it's also a very abrasive track. The way you enter and exit the corners is very similar. And the racing overall is very similar, in my opinion, Jamie, for what we see in real life at Delaware Speedway for that racing action.
The other big difference is the characteristics between
Exactly.
Delaware, the turns 1 and 2 end of the speedway, and then the turns 3 and 4 end of the speedway. You got more bankings at 1 and 2. It's a sharper corner. At the other end, it's flatter, a little less banking. Two totally distinct spots, but you're right. This place is just as abrasive, and this is also the quickest way around this place is on the bottom, just like Delaware Speedway. There is an outside groove if you can make it work, but not many can.
Exactly. And these drivers, I think, are all set to go, Jamie, at the 1 to go signal here already, double file.
Behind the pace truck, down into 3 and 4. House is your pole sitter on the restart. Take number 3 at the green-white checkered overtime finish. Shepard rolls off 3rd. Cole Powell up into 5th now in a transfer spot. Culver has the last spot, sitting 8th. Green flags out. Petey Shepard squirts it through up into 2nd. It's going to be Della Riva who's filing in the line in 3rd. Powell runs 4th. Chenoweth 5th. We'll see the scramble behind that for the last transfer spot. Gibbons might have worked his way up there.
Gibbons gets a shot from Culver. Gibbons able to hold on to it. Culver on the outside. Culver now tries to pull away. The 10 gets turned around. White flag is out. Race is official as they pile up on the front stretch. The rest of the field looks to hold on. Kennington holding on to the final transfer spot in front of Culver.
How about that? Rick Burbridge ends up upside down, destroying his 2nd car in the heat race after running 3rd through the early goings. Petey Shepard, solid little run up into 2nd. Jordan House didn't drop a wheel all night long, wins by almost half a second. House, Shepard, Della Riva, Cole Powell all advance to the A main, as does DJ Kennington. Matt Lockwood also working his way into the feature event a little later on.
What a way for Culver to advance in that one. Used a bit of physicality on Tom Gibbons, but was also able to hold on as DJ Kennington, Hudson Nagy, Sean Grossman, Tom Gibbons, Rick Burbridge, Smith, Gemmel, Luke Ramsey, Jay Dewar, Mike Bentley also all look to fight their way into the main. And now, Jamie, our 32-car field is all set to go. Just about 4 minutes of warm-up to go before they take the green flag for what should be some excitement.
Also, for the action's been heated here at USA International Speedway, virtual Lakeland, Florida.
And that's to say at the very least with some of the physicality on the racetrack. But the pressure was on to try and get yourself into the show, and we've seen some of that from these drivers of physicality. The question is going to be, though, how is that going to carry over to 100 green flag laps? Yes, just green flag laps tonight. And by the way, Jamie, that was just reinstituted on the iRacing service today in time for the APC eSERIES event tonight.
A little background, Justin, on USA International Speedway opened in 1995. 3/4 mile track, and was the home to the Hooters Pro Cup Series for years and years. Final race was August 2nd, 2008. And the warehouse now sits on the property where Lakeland Speedway used to be. Just a few miles outside Orlando, Florida.
Yeah, it's such a great racetrack, though, you have to say, though, USA International Speedway when it existed, because, Jamie, lots of drivers on the iRacing service, too, learned a lot of this racetrack. This is one of the beginner tracks at one point in the service's history, where many of the veterans of eNASCAR competition were rookies at this racetrack, because it's one of those tracks that at one point was available in the early stages of people's careers, and now it's also one of the best short tracks for racing overall, I'd have to say, on the entire service. But I believe we have a couple drivers who are standing by to talk to you, Jamie. I believe Jordan House is standing by here, Jamie, for you in the broadcast booth.
Hey, Jordan House with us right now, driver the number 8. Jordan, first of all, congratulations on a big win in the last chance qualifier.
Oh, thank you very much.
Now tell us about that. It seemed like the whole key for you was just to keep them guessing on those restarts. Every time you went down into turn 1, you were free and clear of the second place car. Tell us about those restarts and getting through the gears.
Yeah, I just had my spotter call me out at a different spot each restart there, just to keep the guys guessing. Didn't want anyone catching on and getting a good run on the outside of us there.
How much iRacing you do?
I've had it for about 8 years, but I didn't even realize how to progress through the classes or anything until about a month ago. So I picked up in the last month, but honestly don't think I've ran more than 5 races in a year before that.
You guys got the car all ready for 2020 when we finally get going?
It's almost there. We, because of everything going on right now, we haven't put the biggest push on finishing. It just needs the rest of the body, and then it'll be good.
Tell us about racing here tonight in the APC eSERIES race number 1.
Oh, this is awesome. It's definitely some fun for all us drivers out there. Give us something fun to do and something to look forward to with everything that's going on. And I just want to thank that everyone that made this possible for us. It's a great opportunity.
Now, one more question. What's the whole key going to be for that 100 lapper later on?
After that last chance there, it looks like the key's just going to be keeping your nose clean. We only got one fast repair in here, so just ride it out, see what you can do. Take a spot, give a spot, and hopefully you're there at the end.
Jordan House, driver of the number 8 machine, your last chance qualifying winner, APC eSERIES race here tonight. Thanks again for joining us, Jordan.
That was one excited driver for tonight, Jamie, but I believe it's just about all set to go to do one thing these drivers have been waiting all night for, to look at how they'll start for tonight's action. Jamie, this should be some fun action tonight for these competitors. Remember, they put in solo qualifying for these competitors tonight to put in the best lap times to put themselves on the top of the board today.
And we'll run down the starting lineup for you here as they get set to go. 100 laps in the books for tonight. Dale Shaw on the point. Cole Tim will start second. Trayton Lapsovich will roll off fourth. DiVienzo fifth. Looks like Jordan Lawrence will roll sixth. Tyler DiVienzo seventh. Ray Morno will start 10th, and Nick Ramsey 9th. The field gets rolling. Carson Nagy made it in on time, as did Matt Pritico. There you see the 83, Dale Shaw, former APC Series champ, the Guelph driver. Cole Tim out of North Carolina, one career APC start, drove the Steve Lakeland owned machine a few years ago. I believe that start was at Sunset, if I'm not mistaken, maybe Flamborough. Cole Tim races a late model in North Carolina normally. Inside of row 2, well, row 2 itself, the Lapsevich brothers out of Grimsby, Ontario. They've been doing a lot of iRacing of late. Both of them got invited to race in the Rowdy Energy Drink Series. It's 3 races old now. Train just turned 16. That's row 3. Again, row 4, you see Jordan Lawrence, 2019 APC Rookie of the Year. Green this time by Tim Shaw on the front row. Lapsevich is behind them. Green flag's out. It's in the air. 100 laps of APC virtual action here tonight. Glad you joined us on a beautiful Thursday evening. Dale Shaw side by side with Cole Tim down the backstretch on lap 1. They'll rumble into 3 and 4. Still Shaw on the bottom, Tim up high. They're stacked double wide. The Lapsevich brothers behind that. Jordan Lawrence up in the 5th all by himself. Still 2 wide out front. Cole Tim getting it done on the high side. Dale Shaw just about cleared about turn 2 that time, but couldn't quite clear a fender. Now Tim's forced to fall in line behind Dale Shaw. The Lapseviches go side by side for 3rd.
Brady Lapsevich stuck on the top side. Caden Lapsevich slides up to 3rd. Caution flag is down, though at the back of the field. Sean Chenoweth in 30th position gets tagged by Matt Lockwood through 3 and 4 for our first yellow flag.
So yellow number 1, 3 laps in. See who takes advantage of the caution.
Just about 2-3 laps turned on the racetrack, and caution laps do not count for tonight's action as per real life regulations. So for many of these drivers, it's going to be interesting, I think, Jamie, to see who can control their tire and heat cycles specifically, because they'll potentially go through a lot of heat cycles if they get caution on their tires tonight.
Well, we see the replay. Chenoweth pushed up in the middle. Lockwood stuck his nose in there, definitely had position. I believe Lane Zardo was late to the party and got into Chenoweth's car after he was spun out. So the Plattsville driver, see if he uses that reset here early. Here's the big game hunter, Jesse Kennedy in the 10. The road warrior, Andrew Gressel in the 81. There's Billy the Kid Schwarzenberg, that bright green 86 machine. Out front, Dale Shaw, your pole sitter. Tim put up a good run in the high lane early. What do you think, Justin? Are we going to see that? Are we going to see on the restarts a guy be able to hang out there for a lap or 2 and then just not be able to anymore?
Yeah, that was actually an interesting point discussed by some of the drivers for tonight, because a lot of them did say they expected it to be somewhat difficult to pass, but still doable. What I mean by that is, the Lapseviches mentioned specifically, they would prefer the top line because they'd be able to pinch down the drivers on the bottom and then get a better run off the corner. For others, they felt they might be able to carry a little bit more speed on that bottom side, as you discussed in the track characteristics compared to Delaware Speedway, and then make passes that way. And there was also the chance, though, Jamie, of many drivers using bumpers tonight. That was an expectation for these competitors tonight. Already we've seen a few bumpers used in the last chance race. I'm expecting the same for many of these competitors in tonight's APC eSERIES 100.
what I'm really looking forward to is the end of that race and the tire strategy, as we were talking about tonight. It's about 0.6 of a second from a fresh pair of Mr. Feelgoods all the way down to 10 lap old tires. 0.6 of a second is a lot of time to give up.
That's a massive amount of time, and mind you, this is already a very tight setup for these competitors. A lot of these guys, Jamie, might be trying to save tires early on. If they're, say, in the middle to back portion of the field, just keep their car clean, save tires in case there's a long run, and if you get that long run, if they were the ones who were saving the most compared to the drivers, say, at the front who might be pushing, they might gain a lot of positions in a long stint.
And again, I gotta admit, I'm kind of an iRacing rookie. I only got everything geared up earlier this week, but how about the fact that we're going through the settings before the race? You can have marbles that either stay on the track or they get blown off. You can see already the marbles growing up towards that top groove of the track. I just think the realism of this green is out. Shaw takes command down into 1 and 2. Tim on his bumper, and the lap switches again, run side by side. This time it'll be Caden on the bottom, gets the advantage over younger brother Trayton. It's a freight train down into 3 and 4.
Down the front straightaway they rumble once again. Everyone already making their way to the bottom side, inside the top 10 starting positions, off the green. DiVincenzo is one of the drivers trying to make a move. Lawrence already losing touch, though, to the back end of the 32 at Trayton Lapsevich. Down the back straightaway, the gap between 4th and 5th has grown to 3 car lengths.
Yeah, those top 4 have got away from the rest of the field. The freight train led by Jordan Lawrence. Oh, we got one sideways near the back. It was a yellow car coming out of 4. 35 machine. That's Andy Camrath.
Jamie, this was an absolute pile up here, Jamie. Pardon me for cutting you off there. The whole track was blocked. That collected a lot of the competitors that were fast in the last chance race too. Jordan House were involved in that one, multiple others. Schwarzenberg with damage, Jamie Cox with damage, Critico got stuck in it, Chenoweth involved in a second incident already in the race, and Pete Shepard hit the side of the barrels.
Well, Camrath got a little help from the Sauble Beach Road Warrior Andrew Gressel in that Sauble Falls Tent and Trailer Park number 81. Well, that's what started it all. And it looked like the barrel stuff always a separate incident within the incident a little further back.
Yeah, not the way any of these competitors would have wanted this race to flow early on. Already a couple drivers having to tow their cars to the pit lane because of severe damage. Jamie Cox, Jordan House, Jamie Grover, all amongst those competitors. Already DJ Kennington done for the race as well tonight, it appears. Which, of course, was a part of the last chance race as that last qualifying driver, or non-qualifying driver.
So the herd has been thinned out here a bit in the early going. Caution number 2. We're only 5 laps in.
Yeah, I don't think this is the way many of these competitors should. I expected this race to flow this evening at this racetrack. But we knew it was going to be fairly aggressive for some of the drivers, especially trying to defend positions on the bottom side. It has been made clear, drivers are not afraid to use contact or bump and runs to move someone out of the groove and force them to get off the gas to try and set up passes in turn. But already, these drivers getting all set to go for the one-to-go signal, Jamie.
Yeah, we'll see Jordan House just beat the pace truck out of the pits there. Again, Shaw, your leader. Tim runs second.
Be an exciting restart once again for these drivers. Shaw in control of the field on the bottom line. Tim on the top line. Pace truck is off. The Lapseviches will watch as Shaw hits the gas. Green flags back out. We're underway. 95 laps to go at Lakeland. I
think Dale Shaw was paying attention in that last chance race, picking up restart tips from Jordan House, because he's been able to hold Tim off the last 2 go-rounds on the green flag. They're 3 wide deep in the field, getting down into 3 and 4.
And our caution flag is out, Jamie, once again, though, because of more trouble at the back end of the field. The attrition rate's been pretty high, I'd have to say, Jamie Mosley, tonight. Schwarzenberg and Carson Nagy were the 2 people that cost this caution flag. Look, from my perspective, Jamie, that 2 cars were fighting for the same real estate.
Usually when there's an incident like that involving 2 drivers, Justin, you've got one guy who says it's the other guy's fault. That guy says it's the other guy's fault. And usually when you look back on it, the truth's somewhere in the middle.
Exactly, and it really is the case when it comes to iRacing, to be quite frank. Many drivers have the discussion on the service across different races, but it always ends up potentially happening, right, where you have those drivers trying to aim up. One's trying to protect a lane or trying to go for a late arc, and others trying to go and dive it in and take advantage of an opportunity. You just leave those chances when you have these types of battles, especially when it comes to short track racing.
The field's still circling under caution. Dale Shaw, the 83, out of Guelph, again, former series champ. He is your leader. Cole Tim, out of North Carolina, running second.
And they've done what everyone else wants, essentially. Keep track position, stay up in the front. They qualified well. Now they get the chance to breathe for the next little bit or so. Same thing for the Lapsevich, same thing for everybody else at this point.
So the field now doubled up. And Shaw and Cole Tim. I'm in a safe place at the front of the pack. The Lapseviches have switched spots. This time it'll be Trayton restart on the inside. Brother Caden, former Pinty's NASCAR Series champ, will restart on the high side.
All these drivers getting set to go. Keep an eye on Joe Lawrence as he starts in the 5th position. DiVienzo starts in P number 6. Pace truck is off. Shaw in control of the field, bunches them up. Green flag waves. We're backing away.
DiVienzo did a little run up through the field, sitting 6th right now. Oh, contact, Cole Tim and your leader, Dale Shaw. Tim lets him get it straightened out. Now Trayton Lapsevich goes to work on. Shaw tries to take advantage of it. Deep in the pack, they're 3 wide into 3.
Everyone scrapping and fighting. Side by side for P4, Lapsevich. Caden Lapsevich fighting with Joe Lawrence. Lawrence backs off. Says hello to the back bumper, the 76. Caden Lapsevich able to block it off as he holds off P number 4. The rest of the fight continues behind. DiVienzo side by side with Nick Ramsey. Side by side for P number 6 out of 4.
Ramsey went to the top side thinking he was going to have to avoid catastrophe, and it costing him a position to DiVienzo, who's on the bottom. But now pace truck now out onto the speedway. So we've gone yellow. We got cars wrecking out at turn 4. Expect the big game hunter Jesse Kennedy involved in that. Matt Lockwood, his second altercation of the evening.
Yeah, just a lot of drivers without some luck tonight. For Jesse Kennedy, though, he tried sending it much more harder than what Jordan Sims felt comfortable with. And Jamie, that also leads to a lot of discussion points where, are you going too hard in the corner, or are you too conservative entering the corner? That led to 2 drivers making contact.
I think a lot of it depends on whether you're on the inside or the outside, Justin.
Both drivers were on the inside, though, Jamie. That's the thing. Especially since one was protecting the bottom, another was trying to, or potentially felt a bit more comfortable sending it in. But at the same time, you have to be wise with your decisions with that. And now, that's given Jesse Kennedy a ticket to the end of the longest line.
So, the big game hunter's got his work cut out for him here this evening in that 10 machine. Sponsored by Discount Auto Part Depot and Supply. Good run for Nick Ramsey as well.
Yeah, Ramsey is looking pretty sporty. He was top 5 in overall fastest lap times in practice for tonight. Put in plenty of preparation. Remember, these competitors had, prior to tonight's 1 hour practice, an additional 4+ hours, not including the time put in separately by these competitors outside the sim. So a lot of these drivers put in tons and tons of work, Jamie, to be competitive on this virtual racetrack tonight. 1 to go, once again, behind the pace truck.
So far, it's been the Dale Shaw show out front. See what the Guelph driver can do here down the back stretch. Him and Tim on the front row. And the Lapseviches, row 2. Jordan Lawrence, row 3, along with Tyler DiVienzo. Then you got Jamie Ramsey, or Nick Ramsey, excuse me, and Ray Morneau. A couple kids that grew up together racing at Grand Bend Speedway. Starting in row 4 together. How about Blair Wickett up into the top 10 as well? Green is out. The scramble's on down into 1.
Lapseviches fight side by side for P3. Caden Lapsevich cycles to 4th. Joe Lawrence to 5th. Nick Ramsey still fights to the bottom side, and another caution flag is out. This time in the exit of turn 2. Billy Schwarzenberg again collected, this time by Chenoweth in the left rear quarter panel. Some of these competitors tonight, Jamie, just cannot buy luck. They've hit everything but the lottery, so to speak, to quote from Mike Joy from some of the virtual action lately.
So how do we tell who's used their resets now?
Good question. Many of these drivers tonight, if you remember in real-life APC series competition, are not allowed to use tires, but many of these drivers tonight, should keep note, have also had to come down to the pit lane. Drivers have been informed there is the opportunity to potentially use tires, it's just we haven't had a long enough cycle for that to matter quite yet. The drivers that have used faster pairs include drivers such as Schwarzenberg, Chenoweth, I believe, Jordan Houch used a faster pair, as well as they were drivers who ducked to the pit lane. Jamie Dyson might be one of those drivers who have to use one now as well, since he was a bystander and that last incident got collected on the outside line. There's an interesting strategy though, Jamie, when it comes to that keeps in mind. If you use it, you lose it for the rest of the race. So say if you use it early and get involved in a big one, you're going to have to live with the damage. So many drivers tonight, Jamie, may elect to save that fast repair for the end of the race, if potentially possible, and use it that time. So in that, they live with the damage for the early run, but they have a good car for the end of the run.
Well, thanks for the explanation on that, Justin. Again, everybody just getting up to speed. Well, some of us are getting up to speed on e-racing, Justin. 4th yellow of the night. 9 laps into this 100 laps of green. Again, Dale Shaw, former series champ, out front. Cole Tim, normally a CRA late model racer. Double wide now. We'll turn him loose next time by. Back under green. The inaugural APC eSERIES 100.
Yeah, and the prep work and the sim experience Dale Shaw has is definitely coming into play. He does have one of the better iRating totals, which is the official designation for how well you are in service per splits. Shaw's one of the best in this entire field tonight, and he's showing it.
The iRacing Nissan commercial pickup truck division. This truck pulls down pit road. Shaw blasts out front again. How about Trey Lapsevich now to the bottom, inside of Cole, boots him up the speedway just a bit. Cole keeps control of it, but now he's got Jordan Lawrence to deal with. Caden Lapsevich gets lined up on the bottom as well. Cole Tim caught in the wrong part of town. He's lost 2 spots already. Now he's going to get in line in front of Caden Lapsevich. Lapsevich sits 5th right now in that 76 machine. Chasing Cole Tim.
Caden Lapsevich waiting for an opportunity down the front straightaway this time to try and poke his way underneath the conga line. Tim, though, able to defend this time on the bottom side. Top 8 positions in a freight train on the bottom line this time. And the caution is out again. This time it's Jamie Grover that gets turned around in 26th position on the entrance to turn 1. And more trouble involving Schwarzenberg is the cause, I think, Jamie, in the 86.
Well, I've been keeping tabs on everybody's favorite truck diver, Jamie Grover, and his adventures throughout the country. He dusted off the iRacing simulator at home, took it off the jack stand, set it up last couple weeks. He's been up on the wheel. He was second quick earlier on tonight in our pre-race practice. Looks like a little contact there with Billy the Kid Schwarzenberg in the Spire Fire Protection number 86. I hate to say it, Mr. Grover, but anytime you get wrecked on the straightaway, you're pretty much at fault.
Yeah, he really tried to hold on there. It doesn't help, though, Jamie, that he was trying to hold the middle line in that, but Schwarzenberg almost tried to poke it 3 wide. Instead, he got Grover twice on the back end, and that really destabilized the 33. And Jamie, as I think both of us know, it's not easy when you get bumped multiple times to try and hold on to a race car from both sides of the back end.
Nor to retaliate when bumped several times.
Yes.
That's Bubba Wallace.
Oh boy, yeah. But otherwise, so far it's been some good action for some of these competitors up towards the front. I think most of them are probably thinking, though, if they can get a long run, they might be able to do something here, and they just have not had that long run yet for that tire fall off we discussed to factor in quite yet. Should note, though, in the green flag laps we have had, most of the times are already 2/10 off what we've seen in the daytime for these drivers in fastest practice laps. That, of course, factors in for how the track has kind of worn in and rubbered up as the time has gone on tonight for these competitors. Looks like we're about to get the 1-to-go signal once again here down the front straightaway, and every single time here for the most part, should say 2-to-go signal this time. Dale Shaw's chosen the top line. Here's the difference, though, Jamie. This time, he's got Traden Lapsevich in the Rick McCall Racing and Bobby Dale Earnhardt Legacy Esports machine ready to start alongside him for the first time.
Should be a good restart. We'll see what Trayton can get done on the high side. He's one of those drivers, him and his brother, in that Rowdy Energy Esports series that's been running Saturday nights with a bunch of late model drivers, including Stephen Nassy. The shot to see what he can do here against Dale Shaw in the Wellington Systems number 83. How about Jordan Lawrence? He's picked his way through the field, up into third in that Pennzoil APC sponsor number 78. Our 2019 APC Series Rookie of the Year.
Such a beautiful car tonight, and that's a brand new paint scheme for 2020, mind you. That's going to be on that race car. Can't wait to see how it looks, Jamie, in real life.
Shaw will set the pace. Trey Lapsovich turned 16 years old earlier on this week. Going to try to match him shift for shift down the front stretch. Can't hang with the veteran. Opens up the inside to Jordan Lawrence, who's going to take advantage of it. Off turn 2. Oh, contact 78 and 32. Oh, straight into the wall. They're all backed up now. Oh, hard contact in the inside wall for a number of guys, and it is a wet, hot mess off turn 2. Blair Weckett involved, Jesse Kennedy involved, Trevor Culver, there's Schwarzenberg, Rick Spencer Walt involved, Eric Della Riva involved.
And that was a massive one, Jamie, in that one. But it almost looked like, though, and it was the case, I believe, Trey Lapsovich tried to come off and give the squeeze to Joe Lawrence. Problem was, Joe Lawrence was not backing off. They make door-to-door contact. And bye-bye 32 and bye-bye back half of the field. And they are going single file restarts the rest of the way already, Jamie, with how many yellows we've already had.
Probably best. That has put a lot of good cars on their last life. And you're looking for that little mushroom that pops out of that box with the cliffhanger.
Yeah, so many drivers involved in that one. Now Joe Lawrence, who had the good track position, is the man who ends up getting involved in that situation. And now he's going to get the end of longest line for causing that big calamity mess in the corner. Been an interesting race, to say the very least, tonight for those tuning in here across, whether it's the APC Racing Series YouTube, Facebook, or on Speed 51 tonight. Jimmy Montley leading the action tonight. I'm Justin Prince with what been an entertaining race this evening. So far, track position has been very crucial. Staying clean has been crucial, and so far, a couple of them are getting all set to go for tonight's action. Again, Dale Shaw's in the lead at the moment. Cole Timmons in second. Kevin Lapsovich is in third. Nick Ramsey fourth. Ray Morno in the inside, one of the top positions coming up for this upcoming grouping of race car drivers inside the top 5. Jade Franklin is up to 6th position. Andrew Greschel up to 7th. Cam Raff in 8th. Then you have Stotty in 9th. Jason Wood rounding out the top 10 positions. So far, the biggest movers tonight as well. Matt Lockwood is a plus 19 on the grid. Cole Powell is a plus 17 for the drop of the green flag. Sean Chenoweth is up plus 12 positions in tonight's racing action. And some exciting action tonight, to say the very least, Jamie. And these drivers already getting ready for what will be one to go already, single file.
Dale Shaw, single file out front. See what happens on this restart. So was Jordan Lawrence put tail end there?
Remember, Jordan Lawrence was ending the longest line for the cause of the caution flag, Jamie.
Shaw, your leader. 81 Cole Timmons second. That's the way they race down to 1 and 2 single file. All the way through the field now after this first single file restart. Nick Ramsey will run 4th. Up in 3rd, Kate Lapsovich. Round of the top 5, Ray Morno. Dave Franklin now. Showing a little muscle in that 31 machine. This lap of 20.5. Last lap 20.6. So, Justin, as we've been talking about, 15 laps in, only 1/10 of a second off Franklin's best time. But then again, he's probably been in heavy traffic through the early going.
More trouble on the back straightaway brings out the caution flag once more. This time it involves a couple drivers. Eric Dallariva gets tagged by Trayden Lapcevich in 21st position. And Lapcevich got swung up the racetrack into Sean Chenoweth. Chenoweth was sent onto his side in his black, blue, and yellow machine to bring us back under the caution flag. And still 85, make it 86-ish. Green flag laps to go. And as you've seen on the replay, Jamie, I think it's been an intriguing race, but I believe we have an in-car interview now with Dale Shaw, who has been leading every single lap so far in this field. He's standing by with you.
How's it going, guys?
Good, Dale. Chat with the leader, having a great night so far. Tell us about your virtual racing career here.
A lot of fun here tonight. I had cautions drug out here and kind of got to get the field whittled down a little bit, but it's been a lot of fun. It's been a fun week. All these APC guys getting online and kind of seeing the other side of the racing world, and it's been a lot of fun.
How's your program looking for 2020, Dale?
Good. We're 83 cars ready. We're just waiting on shocks and a drive shaft, and it's ready to go. We've updated it to all the new rules in the series, shortened the wheelbase and all the other goodies, and we've got our second car, which Blair Wicked drove last year. We've got it rented out so far for 6 races. So you'll see kind of 2 cars right out of the Shaw Motorsports shop at a lot of races this year. And man, we just can't wait to get going. This is the first year we've been ready early and we get stuck.
What do you think of the event that APC put on this evening, and what's it going to take here? Are you planning a pit stop?
I don't know. Honestly, we're saving fuel. I don't know if you remember Delaware last year, but we're saving fuel because I don't know how long this is going to go or whatever. But it's going to be a lot of fun once we get going here and get to see all these guys get out and get racing and stuff like that. So just stick around on the broadcast, guys, and the racing will get good here sooner than later.
Dale, thanks for joining us. Good luck, buddy.
No problem, guys. Anytime.
Dale Shaw, driver of the Wellington Systems number 83 so far. All smiles here this evening, but then again, how could you not be sitting out in front of this star-studded field 15 laps into the first ever inaugural APC eSERIES race? I'd like to welcome all our viewers across Speed 51. I also like to say hi to a lot of sponsors and supporters from the APC series over the years. Grisdale Racing Products, Pennzoil. Big supporters of the program. Presenting sponsors. Green flag looks like they are setting to come out. Dale Shaw on point. Cole Tim back up into second. Caden Lapcevich third. Let's see if we can get a little bit of a green flag run here.
Good launch for Dale Shaw as he runs it into 1 and 2. Everybody falls through the conga line down to the bottom side. Question's going to be who will find their way to the bottom the first time around. Caden Lapcevich holding on to third position. Nick Ramsey, the closest to a position. He gets about an inch away from the back bumper as they pass by the flag stand.
Ramsey trying to get it done against Caden Lapcevich. Nick Ramsey, bone stock driver at Delaware Speedway. We might be stepping up to a V8 stock this year. On the wheel of a virtual late model here at USA Speedway. There's the View of that APC radar auto parts number 07 out the back window of Caden Lapsvich's car. And here comes the pace truck. Yellow out again, Justin.
And this time, Jordan Sims is the victim of trouble. And Joe Lawrence tried to push the gap, I believe, Jamie, on the bottom side. He left the door open, the 47 did. Problem is, he pushed up, Joe Lawrence did into the door, and it collects one of the Dysons. Jamie Dyson specifically gets taken to the inside wall, and another yellow flag early. Right side, Jamie, that caution flag allows Jesse Kennedy to gain the lap back. One of them back.
Well, eventually you leave that bottom open. The guy behind you is going to stuff the nose in there. Contact between Jordan Sim and Jordan Lawrence. Jordan's tangle out of turn 2. Sims coming in for a pit stop right now. You see that Stuff Lubricant Incorporated Sim countertop number 47 machine, the Sault Ste. Marie driver. Former APC feature winner as well. Jesse Kennedy, the big game hunter, at Discount Auto Part Depot and Supply number 10, just getting his lap back. South wall driver. Now we get to watch one of the superstars work his way through the field. Trayton Lapsvich will keep tabs on him.
I believe Trayton
Imagine he
Lapsvich
punched the
yes, he
reset
did.
button after, yeah.
Pardon me for cutting you off there. Was just about to bring that up. He actually came down the pit lane, and that car was actually crawling sideways, skewed sideways, where he jumped into the pit lane and checked out the race car himself on the outside after his trouble. Remember, he's been involved in now a couple incidents. He's, though, in a risk of falling a lap down. It looks like he is going to stay in the pit box and get that car repaired. The unfortunate thing is, Jamie, remember, there was a lot of bad luck in real life with that 32 machine, especially when it came to the APC series last year with some strong runs. Now, he falls a lap down after getting the repairs.
But then again, with the amount of cautions we've seen so far tonight, Justin, wouldn't be surprised if he can get a lucky dog or two. I mean, we've seen Jesse get a couple of them already. Big shout out to one of our APC drivers. He says he's listening right now. Just wondering why he hasn't got the rig set up, but hopefully we'll get him out in the future. Driver of the 72, Junior Farley. Welcome to the broadcast, Junior. We miss you out here, buddy.
Really glad to see a lot of people tuning in for what has been an exciting race. Yes, there's been a lot of yellows, but there's been some fun moments throughout the night so far, Jamie. As these cars get ready for the green flag this time by, it's going to be curious. Does anyone have anything for Shaw and Tim, who are once again 1-2 on this restart?
I'm sure there's a couple guys that do. They just haven't had a long enough run to get it done. What happens here? Shaw takes him right up to the wall. Green flag is out. Nick Ramsey puts the early pressure on Caden Lapsvich down into 1 and 2. Couldn't get it done. Now Franklin looks like he's picked up a spot underneath little Ray Morneau, who's in trouble. He's got somebody else to his left side as well. That's Andrew Gressel. How about the Road Warrior?
To P number 6, despite his Ford Fusion being crunched in on the front nose. He pulls away about a quarter car length down the straightaway. Ray Morneau falls down to 7th position. Cameron falls behind in 8th. Stouty still inside the top 9, however, as they continue to stay single file amongst the top groupings of the field. First side by side, all the way back in the teens.
Now the single file restarts seem to have done their job, Justin. They've got the field strung out. We got a little bit of green flag run going. They almost ruined it there, but they keep going. The 93, Carson Aggie, took traffic back there in an absolute hornet's nest. How about Tyler DiVienzo after his early problems? He's now coming back through the field in that 97 machine. Jamie Cox right behind him. There's the other 97, Blair Wickett. Oh, now we got one of the fence, Jamie Grover and Billy the Kid Schwarzenberg have had a do-over. And it looks like Schwarzenberg just hammered Pritico down in 1 and 2. Replays never lie though, Justin.
Yeah, it just looked like Schwarzenberg just straight up slammed the outside wall and pinballed his way down to Grover. Nothing Grover could do when you have a car absolutely slam the outside. And then Schwarzenberg, trying to keep the car straight and hold on to whatever positions he can, just ends up collecting Pritico for no reason at all, just coming from the grass.
It was like the Ryan Priest save at Texas, the E-race a couple weeks ago.
Problem is, there was a car on the outside that time, and it didn't work out anything like Priest. Well, I mean, like Priest had, where he was able to keep it off the wall, to hit the wall a couple times in that sequence, and now he's off into the pit lane and is given a 1-lap penalty, a black flag for a full lap.
Virtual Daryl Timmermans holding the 86 of Schwarzenberg in his pit stall right now.
That just hasn't been Schwarzenberg's night, to say the very least, with how many incidents he's been in. It seems like he's been in just about all of them. No offense to him, it's just not been the best of nights for that 86 machine tonight.
So you can see that green machine, the Spire Fire Protection 86. Again, Virtual Daryl Timmerman's going to let him go here in a sec. And I'm sure they'll discuss the incident later on tonight over a virtual hot dog.
You gotta love those virtual hot dogs. They don't add the real-life carbs like they do in real life. On the bright side, Jesse Kennedy got the lucky dog, and he's now back in the lead lap.
Now we start talking about hot dogs, and all I can think of is that first Delaware Pit Dog of the Year. Dale Schott, Cole Tim, Caden Lapsevich, your top 3. Nick Ramsey up into 4th. "22 laps on the board."
Yeah, and this race has again been hard to get a green flag run in, and in real life, when I'm thinking about the Great Canadian Race, there was that conversation about that, since remember, there was a lot of caution laps to be frank in that race. Start of at the APC series in 2019. I was talking with some people about 198 pace laps to 100 green flag laps. I think there's a good chance though, because the single file starts, the more people who end up using up their faster pairs and getting involved in trouble tonight, Jamie, the more likely we're going to get a long run tonight, as the best of the best keep their cars clean and get ready for this green flag.
Green flag set to fly. Dale Shaw on the point. Cole Tim will restart 2nd. Again, Caden Lapsevich 3rd. Nick Ramsey 4th. Everybody's on throttle down into 1. Shaw, your leader, keeps control of this field. He was the first ever series champ, trying to be the first ever feature winner in E-race competition in the APC E-Series. Cole Tim trying to do everything he can to hang with that 83. Fastest lap of the night at 20.197 for the 83 of Shaw. 20.239, you can see that fast lap for Tim. Fastest times in the earlier practice session this evening were in the ones. 4 or 5 drivers got into the ones. Pole qualifying was in the 2s or 3s and was obviously a little warmer. But you're seeing maybe the speed's picking up now even. This place virtually cooling off.
Yes,
What Andy Russell here.
Yes, that right now is heating up for 5th position. Franklin forced up to the top side. Ray Morno launches on the wings into turn 3 and 4. Franklin trying to hug that middle line with the squeeze. Gressel, though, still fighting hard on the bottom side. Back into turn 1 they go. Still 73 to go this time by Ray Morno. Now pokes his way as another caution comes out of the back.
Hey, some good racing there between Franklin, Sable Beach Road Warrior Andrew Gressel, as well as the 03 Little Ray Morno out of Windsor. Looks like we got Matt Lockwood upside down.
Yeah, that just looked like another tough incident. Another one this time involving Carson-Nagy, who got turned, and then Lockwood just ended up flipping upside down, ramping off the outside wall. And nowhere for a couple hours to go. Jesse Kennedy involved. Jamie Dyson also getting some contact, trying to get on the brakes.
Couple of shout outs. Darcy McLennan watching live tonight. And how about Junior Farley, his crew chief's 60th birthday, Rick Leader. Big happy birthday to Rick. See John Erland from Delaware listening as well. Place where we have a couple stops of the APC series. Stop number 1 right around Canada Day, and of course the end of the year, the Great Canadian Weekend. Delaware Speedway, just outside of London, Ontario. A place where a lot of these guys cut their teeth.
Yeah, and these drivers now being warned about their conduct now at the racetrack, Jamie, with how things have turned out so far to try and keep things nice and clean on the circuit.
And we're able to get a few green flag laps in there as well, so you can see the green flag run starting to spread out a bit now, Justin.
A little bit. We've had some good stretches now in this race so far on the racetrack. I think we're going to have a long run potentially break out, because for those watching on iRacing, the trends usually say it starts on short tracks like this a little bit, a majority of the time I should say, caution, breed caution. Then you get a long run, usually in the middle of the race. Sometimes up to 50, sometimes it's all the way to the checkered flag. And then things get interesting towards the end of the race as the positions start to matter, and that's where the points and the win come to lie. So I think we're going to get a long run. It's just a matter of, it's down to the drivers and their discretion on keeping it clean tonight.
So the field getting set to go. Dale Shaw again, your leader. Thank Robert Q, one of our sponsors here on the APC Tour. Spectre Premium, your #1 choice for radiator products. APC eSERIES, Grisdale Racing Products. And of course our lubricant supplier, Pennzoil Lubricant, proud sponsor of Jordan Lawrence. 1 to go. Getting set to go back green. Nick Ramsey will be in a bone stock this year. We found out that Jack Van Hendrick actually sold the V8 stock, so Nick Ramsey will be full-time Driving for car owner Jack Van Herken, Delaware Speedway in the bone stock. Nick, one of our officials on the APC Tour on race days. Right now, it's a former champion who's got the field in his grasp off turn 4. 27 laps down, coming to the green flag.
Shot once again as he got a little bit of a shot from Tim. All the drivers move to the bottom side. Top 7 run away from Cam Raft and the rest of the crew. Down the backstretch they rumble once again past the backstretch grandstand into turn number 3. Caden Lapsevich trying to reach his hand out to Cole Tim. Still can't get to the back bumper yet.
He's got Nick Ramsey to contend with now. Ramsey just well 3/4 of a car length off the back bumper of that 76 machine of Lapsevich. There's Lapsevich got a great, well, caution coming out now. Lapsevich a great shot of that battle for the lead.
And this time it's Trevor Culver getting involved in trouble in the back part of the field in 24th position. It looked like he ended up getting a little bit of a love tap maybe from Jesse Kennedy and got pushed up the racetrack, unfortunately for Culver. Just the bad luck continues for the one.
Well, here we see that replay. Culver and the 10. Culver just breaks loose in the middle of the corner, slides that lubrication express machine up towards the wall. And now we'll welcome in Cole Tim to the broadcast booth. Cole running second right now. Had a pretty good view of Dale Shaw's back bumper for the first 30 laps here.
Cole Tim, do you have a copy?
So we're talking to Cole Tim.
Again, Cole Tim, do you have a copy, sir? Fortunately, Jamie, it looks like Cole Tim having a technical issue with his mic. I let him focus on the racing, I think, but he's had a good run so far, holding on to the second spot.
He has had a solid run so far. Just messages coming in from a whole lot of different people. Got a message from my buddy Jake Butler. His little boy Corey, or Colby, is one of the coolest kids at Delaware Speedway. He does the greatest start your engines of all time. He puts everything into it, leaves it all on the table. My buddy Colby listening down Sarnia Way. Hope you are enjoying our broadcast here this evening. We also got a message from Delaware Speedway promoter John Erlin. He is working at gearing up a simulator. He's wondering if there is a promoter's provisional available at some point. We'll talk to some more of the drivers. We're lining them up. We'll work through them as we continue caution periods along the way. Imagine we're getting set to get going back to green flag racing here shortly. Caden Lapsevich, there he is up on your screen right now, having a solid run. The Grimsby driver. He's had some good qualifying efforts in the Rowdy Energy Series, just hasn't been able to finish it off and put together any real solid efforts. Looking good tonight, sitting third, 20.2, again, his fast time. Same range that Cole Tim's been running.
Both the Lapseviches have shown speed, just Trayden hasn't had any luck tonight. Caden, he's been able to keep his car clean, hold on to track position. It'll be interesting to see if he can keep his third position here when the pace car, in the pace truck rather, drops.
Nissan Commercial Truck Division truck pulls off the speedway. Green flag is out. Battle ensues right away for second. Lapsevich goes after Cole Tim. Meanwhile, the Road Warrior goes to work on Nick Ramsey. That's for full spot down the backstretch.
Gressel still trying to find his way to gain time. Loses some of the apex. Jay Franklin starts to close in. Reaching towards the back end of the 81. Past the start and finish line. Now under 70. Green flag laps to go. As they continue to paint the yellow lines in the corners. Paint the walls down the back straightaways. And paint the yellow lines once again in 3 and 4s. They come across the start and finish line this time.
Seems to be the fastest way around USA International Raceway.
Oh, more trouble behind them. The 93 just got doored. Trouble behind. Still no caution. Now is a caution. Jamie Grover involved in his second incident in 3 and 4.
Carson Nagy, the other car involved in that 93 machine. Mount Hope, Ontario driver pulling away from the scene.
I think they got a little bit of help this time. Jordan House giving him door-to-door contact in the middle of the corner. And it's been a common theme for caution flags tonight, Jamie.
Been a lot of contact. Welcome in Caden Lapsevich to our broadcast booth.
Hello.
How are things going in that 76 machine here tonight?
Just pretty good. You know, we haven't really done much racing, which kind of sucks. I think we got a pretty good piece. I just need to get a few laps going. I've just sort of been riding, saving, and you know, if we get a long run, I think we're gonna be good. But we just got to get there.
How big of an effect is saving those tires? I know I was watching you and your brother race that E-Rattler 250 a few weeks ago. Tell us about how you save tires virtually.
Well, you just do the same in real life. You know, don't blow the right front off by, you know, driving the car in too deep and drive it straight off the corner. So, you know, right now it means a lot because I had planned on pitting, but because we're allowed tires, but I don't think that's going to be the move. I think saving in track position is going to be the move. So, I don't know. We'll play it out and see what happens.
Now, for the most part, the stuff up front's been pretty entertaining. We've seen a lot of calamity at the back of the pack. How much do you think that's going to improve as we keep doing this going forward?
You know, I can only hope it'll get better. You know, I know a lot of the guys in this race are new to iRacing, so, you know, iRacing's a totally different animal than a real race car. So, like, my dad said it, he can't even make a lap at Mossport. Mossport's his favorite track ever. So it's different, and you got to get used to it. You know, having all your settings right between your wheel and your pedals and your field of view, it all means it's so much. So, you know, it's just going to take guys adapting and getting used to it, you know, realizing it's a sim and it's not the actual real thing. So
last Saturday, you and your brother raced at Lucas Oil's Speedway, if I'm not mistaken. And you guys went from about lap 20, 25, all the way to about lap 70. I mean, you guys can get those good green flag runs going if everybody just behaves, I guess.
Yeah, and, you know, it's tough. It's, you know, with the Speed 51 deal, a lot of the kids and guys that are in it have been on iRacing for a long time. And so I think that plays a huge factor in it because, like I said, this is a whole different animal. So, you know, I think the Speed 51 deal is good. We got some good racers in here, but, you know, I know we have really good racers in the APC series. It's just getting used to iRacing and, you know, taking it all in.
I know you got to go back to green. Thanks for joining us, Caden.
Thank you.
It's Caden Lapsevich, driver of the 76 machine, getting set to go back green, third spot on the grid right now behind Dale Shaw. Sorry, looks like we do have one more to go at least. Cole Tim second, Lapsevich third. Again, Nick is fourth. Ramsey in that 07 drives the bone stock again for Jack Van Hendricks out of Mitchell. He's one of our officials on tour. And how about Andrew Gressel? He's worked his way up from deep in the pack up into the top 5. That's the Sable Beach Road Warrior, the Sable Park Tent and Trailer sponsored entry. Thanks Speed 51 for carrying tonight's event as well. #1 spot for all your short track news. Coast to coast, north and south of the border.
Racing action back underway though, Jamie, on the racetrack as all the drivers cleanly got off to a green flag start. Tim, though, applying the pressure to the back end of Dale Shaw, heading into turn 1. Here comes the dive from Tim, forced to slam on the binders. Gives a shot to Shaw. Shaw bobbles it on the apron. Here comes Tim on the inside, down the back straightaway. Caden Lapsevich also follows in suit. The 57 towards the 83 up the racetrack. Pull Tim to the point.
Cole Tim just used up Dale Shaw in the middle of 3 and 4. Opened the door for Caden Lapsevich. Now here comes Nick Ramsey as well, trying to capitalize. You got to bet Dale Shaw is just fuming behind the wheel of that 83 machine. He now tucks into the line, cuts across the nose of Nick Ramsey, goes back after Caden Lapsevich while Cole Tim tries to dance away.
Cole Tim coming across the start and finish line. 65 green flag laps to go. Lapsevich still trying to hold on to second. Dale Shaw loses a bit of ground in the apex of 1 and 2. Ramsey still has a bit of a bobble off of turn 2. Everybody else stays inside the freight train, waiting for one good move. Gressel nearly bumps the back end of the 07, gives him a second love tap as they check up.
They work down into 3 and 4 again. Nick Ramsey doing everything he can to hold off that 81 of Andrew Gressel. Gressel's got 2 breathing down his neck behind him, including Jake Franklin in the 31 and the 03 of Little Ray Morneau. Again, those front 8 seem to have separated themselves from the rest of the pack, or maybe 7 of them now. They run single file into 3 and 4 again. Cole Tim still holding serve. And Caden Lapsevich, we're not even quite halfway through this one, so there's still lots of racing left to go.
Still plenty of action to go, but everyone getting into a rhythm. Longest run of the race so far. Top 7 have already pulled away by a good second from 8 on back. Still, closest driver in range of an attack, Jade Franklin. Charges hard on quarter exit, gains half a car length away from Ray Morneau. Back into turn 1 and 2 they go once more. Here in tonight's action, 60 to go as Gressel holds up the 5th on back battle.
Yeah, that Franklin Gressel battle is a good one on the speedway right now. Right now we see Cole Tim. There's the view out of Lapsevich's car, second place, looking back to Dale Shaw in the 83. And now Franklin tried to put a move on the outside of the 81, and it might cost him. He's got Ray Morneau to his inside. Those 3 have been going at it for the last 12 laps or so.
Yeah, this has been one of the best battles in this race so far tonight on the racetrack. Down the back straightaway they go. Jake Franklin pulls a little bit of gap on Ray Morneau. Morneau sends his orange and black machine hard on the brakes, still can't gain time. Trouble behind them. Camera hard to the wall. Caution flag is out as he smacks the left side against the outside fence.
Jamie Cox just used up the 35, the instant classic Andy Camrath. 4 of them were racing for position. Jamie Cox, Camrath was involved in that. Stoddy had just made his way to the head of that pack.
Keeping an eye on that too, Jamie. They were heating up in that battle because everyone wanted to find a way around that 17. And then we seen the love tap. Jamie Cox, end of longest line penalty for the cause.
Yeah, Cox was trying to get in front of Tyler DiVienzo and diving to the bottom. Didn't anticipate Camrath trying to take that groove into the corner.
That was one of our best green flag runs of the race, though, have to say, though. But these drivers have to say, keep their emotions in check. Camrath got a second shot from, I believe it was Cole Powell, before he was able to duck it down to the pit lane.
There's Jamie Grover. He's made pit road his second home this evening. like Matt Lockwood getting the lucky dog.
Yeah, and he's one of the drivers who have had to get a lot of damage repair done. Remember, he flipped upside down at one point in his race car. But now, back on the lead lap again, still 28 drivers on the lead lap, believe it or not.
And I apologize to Justin McLeod, Shea Gamble's spotter. No virtual giveaways here this evening, so the fact that you have virtual nail clippers does not help you.
Might help you in some places, though, Jamie. That's the thing. Some drivers might actually respect you for having that with you in the virtual cockpit. Just saying. Just joking as well. But again, many of these drivers, some of the biggest movers in this entire field tonight here, Jamie, have been the ones who've been able to keep it clean. Guys like Stati, like Franklin, like Gressel. All drivers who are near or already at double-digit position gains in this event so far.
So Cole Tim's still leading the way. Took the lead from Dale Shaw 7 or 8 laps ago. I believe we're up to yellow 10 if I'm not mistaken now. 42 laps in the book.
Racing back at her way once again. Cole Tim able to get the good launch though for the green flag this time. He hit the outside wall though, trying to get onto the gas. 57 though, able to pull away by a car length. Kaden Lapsevich is in second. Dale Shaw's to third. Nick Ramsey's in fourth. Gretzel holds on to the top 5 as they continue to fight side by side for P9 on back.
This is a good battle. Some guys just getting their way into the top 10 or back into the top 10. Stoddy finally appearing in the top 10. Meanwhile, we've got the 97 of DiVienzo, the 32 of Trayton Lapsevich, and Jordan Lawrence. They've all raced from the back of the pack towards the front yellow on the speedway right now. But this is attrition. Trayton Lapsevich, DiVienzo, as well as Jordan Lawrence, all racing from the back of the pack into the top 10.
Jesse Kennedy, just bad luck in that scenario this time. Just had some problems off of 3 and 4, let's put it that way, and then nowhere for drivers like the 73 to go, and then he got big junk. Kennedy got the worst of it.
Well, we'll bring in Nick Ramsey. Do you have us, Nick?
Yeah, I gotcha.
Nick driving the 07, the Jack Van Hendricks prepared Radar Auto Parts Mitchell Cycle Machine. How's that thing handling tonight for you, buddy?
It was really good at the start. It's definitely gotten a bit tight. If we go any longer on these caution laps, we're going to need fuel anyway, so we might have the chance for some tires here.
Was that the plan pre-race to make a pit stop for tires, or what was your game plan?
I was definitely hoping to not have to, but we're getting to that point here.
How do you tell when you're running low on fuel in the car?
We've got a box in the corner that we can cycle through, and it tells us how much fuel we got left.
So unlike a real race car, these things have actual gas gauges.
Correct, yeah. They give us a lot of information here.
How cool is it racing up front, guys? Like, I mean, you're between two series champions right there. You got Gressel out the back door, and you got Shaw in front of you.
It is very intimidating. I've been nervous all day.
What do you got planned for us later on tonight? Can you take that 07 machine to the front?
I hope so. These 3 cars in front of me are really fast, and I got a full mirror here.
Well, good luck, Nick. Thanks for joining us under yellow.
Thank you.
Nick Ramsey driving the 07 machine. Nick's out of St. Thomas. Again, a bone stock regular at Delaware Speedway. And one of our APC series officials. Having a good night here. He's the best of the Pro-Am class so far.
Yeah, he's been very, very calm and very collected, it seems, in that race car. He hasn't been too physical when it comes to the battles, and he's in a good position. Again, he's been consistent throughout the night. He was one of the best practice drivers throughout the entire week. He was one of the drivers to keep an eye on in a couple of drivers' opinions, though, tonight as well, because of what we've seen. He does have a bit of iRacing experience, and it is showing a bit.
Well, it's just like hours in the car, hours on the simulator is what makes you good at this. A lot of misspent youth in the front, in the top 4 there. The 1 to go side. Field getting set to turn back loose. We'll go green 44 laps in, closing in on the halfway mark. Here in the APC 100 lap inaugural eSERIES race.
Question's going to be, how long will this run be, Colton? Last time, he hit the wall down the start and finish line straight away. Can he get a cleaner start this time at the 57? Laps of it, Shaw and the rest of the cars hug the outside wall. Pace truck is off. Green flag is up in the air. Bit of tire spin behind them. Franklin nearly got hooked by Ray Morneau and checked everyone's 6 on back up.
Well, Tyler DiBienzo is eyes wide to not run over Ray Morneau. He's now working to the inside of Morneau, but I don't think he's going to get it. Franklin's going to tuck in line behind him. Then it's Stoddy chasing those guys.
Franklin still trying to hold on to the race car, already losing 4 car lengths down the front straightaway alone to the 07 machine. Morneau stays in rhythm, clips the apron. DiBienzo trying to close in a touch. Loses some ground off the corner exit as they continue to maintain a rhythm through 3 and 4.
Great battles on the speedway. They run nose to tail. And there's a good shot of Morneau's car. The speed shot from the front wall. Jade Franklin in the 03 of Morneau, the 97 of DiBienzo, and the 32 of Lapsovich in the mix there as well. Now Jordan Lawrence picking up a spot from primetime Josh Stoddy in the 17. Jeffrey Stoddy back 1 spot. Looks like Blair Wickett's coming for Stoddy now.
Wickett coming from near the back end of the field. Had been at one point in the top 10, involved in some trouble early, and now that shot chassis machine is closing in a little bit. Stoddy's been cycling backwards as this race has gone on, still holds on to a car length advantage for the position.
Battles everywhere. There's Rich Spencer Walt, 47 of Jordan Sims as well.
Scrapping amongst some of these drivers. The battle, those starting to heat up for 6th position this time down the back straightaway, Jamie. Ray Morneau forced up to the top side, blocks the bottom. DiBienzo gives the 03 a shot. Here comes the 97 up inside the top 6, and Trayden Lapsovich looks to follow suit.
Now some serious use of the virtual chrome horn. Boosting the 03 out of the groove. Now he's in trouble because Jordan Lawrence is coming too. Morneau may have flipped the wall down the backstretch. He tries to close the door on Trayden Lapsovich. Bounces off the 32 up into the 3rd groove. Now that he's pulled it out of the rhubarb, Ray Morneau's got the tires underneath him and rolling again, but that cost him a lot of spots there.
Yes, indeed, he did tap the outside wall down the back straightaway. Now he's lost a car length to Joe Lawrence, but Lawrence is looking to push. He's one of the drivers who has had to come down to the pit lane for damage repair so far tonight. And he's made contact before for position. This time Trayden Lapsovich gives him 7th spot. Allows him to take the bottom as the 78 is starting to fly down the back.
32 of Lobsowitz gets tucked back in line before Mordo can get there. Lawrence with a 20.3, his fastest lap of the night. Again, the fastest laps we've seen in this feature. Shaw down in the 20.1, and we've seen Tim and Caden Lapsovich in the 20.2 range. Again, Lawrence in the 20.3s. That Pennzoil APC sponsored 78, your defending series rookie of the year. Going to work on Tyler DiVienzo from the Cambridge area. DiVienzo, now there's the shot from his car back to Lawrence. And a battle up front now.
Yes, indeed. Caden Lapsovich was able to make the swap as that fighting was going on in the mid-pack. Cole Tim, though, he wants his lead back and wants it now. Last time by gave a shot to the back end of the 76. This time by stays a quarter car length back in the battle for the race lead. Dale Shaw watches in the wings as all the drivers push. Lapsovich, though, hugs the bottom in 3 and 4 again.
How about that? Caden Lapsovich going to the front. Grimsby driver. Caution on the speedway. Caution. Looks like Billy the Kid Schwarzenberg's at it again. He's having a virtual tough day, the driver of the 86. Fastest lap 21.6 or 20.7, so a little off the pace for the 86.
Jamie, I think that actually happened in front of Schwarzenberg, in fact, and Jordan Sims again was involved in an incident. Pete Shepard ended up getting tagged up with him off the corner, and Cole Powell literally ran underneath the flipping race cars to get through the incident somehow, I think.
And Justin, check this out. We just had a sponsorship announcement roll in for immediate release. Dan Bailey from Epic Racewear wants to give away some gift certificates to our eSERIES 100 here tonight. There you see the contact, Jordan Sims. That's pretty wild. The replay there, Sims, the 22 getting together, Shepard up in the air, car going right underneath him. Big thanks to Dan from Epic Racewear. $100 gift certificate to the winner, a $50 gift certificate to the finishers who finished 5th, 15th, and 25th. So Dan Bailey from Epic Racewear is stepping up during the broadcast here. $100 to the race winner. So Caden Lapsovich, the inside line on that.
Caden Lapsovich is one of those drivers who knows a heck of a lot. He builds a lot of his setups and not just in Super Late Ball, but in many of the different cars. He helps his sim racing team by using the real world knowledge he knows to help with, say, tire pressures, tire management, being able to set up the suspension. A lot of those actually come into play for the virtual side of that real world experience. And Caden Lapsovich is showing that by keeping his car the cleanest out of anybody, even when it comes to the rubber buildup in the top 5.
So Cole Tim's got his work cut out for him. Got to get back around the 76 machine of Caden Lapsovich.
And as we've seen, it's been easy to catch up, but difficult to pass. And so far, a lot of drivers have been not afraid to use the bump and run on this circuit tonight to try and cycle around for the race lead. I wouldn't be surprised if that's what one of the things it takes once the green flag flies again, Jamie, for Tim to push Lapsovich up the track and dive underneath to the bottom.
Well, let's take this minute, Justin, and we'll welcome in Josh Stoddy. You got us there, Josh?
Yeah, go ahead.
How's things going on Sauble Way?
Oh, just trying to get the hang of this. It's definitely a little touchier than the real car.
Are you new to this sim racing?
I've had it for a few years, but I've really got into it in the last, I'd say, 2 months. I'm really enjoying it, especially with the COVID deal going on.
Have you picked up some time over the week?
What's that, Jamie?
You've been able to pick up some time on your laps over the week?
Yeah, we've been working on it, but I mean, you look at this field, there's a lot of talented drivers in our series, and it's awesome to be a part of this event that APC put on. Can't thank them enough.
Hey, I tell you what, Josh, we'll throw you back in the waiting room. We'll talk to you a little more next caution, okay?
Sounds good. Thanks, Jamie.
Back over the racetrack as that 17 machine is fighting in 17th position at the moment. The top four had a great jump off the gun. Ramsey, Shaw, Tim, Lapsevich, all amongst that grouping of race cars, making their way through the bottom of 3 and 4 once again as they run away from Jordan House, and Lapsevich hit the grass 3 wide for the race lead.
Oh, and then he turned around, tries to close the door on Dale Shaw. Big problems on Lapsevich's car. He runs into Nick Ramsey, runs him almost up to the concrete barrier. Not sure if there was contact made by Nick Ramsey. Now, here comes Lapsevich back down to the inside of Shaw. Your leader still Cole Tim back out in front after Lapsevich dipped the wheel down low. A little contact with him in the 57 and it cost him the lead, but long ways from over. Caution out on the speedway again.
And Schwarzenberg again in a caution flag in the 86. Again, this time some help from the 93. Not been Schwarzenberg's night. Hasn't missed one quite yet. No offense to him in this race. But at the same time, Jamie, it looked like Tim may have caught a bump and run to set up Lapsevich to the grass. And Lapsevich may pit here in this situation.
It looked like that was Carson Nagy using up his opponent off the corner there, sending Schwarzenberg around.
I'm first on to tangled together tonight, I think, Jamie.
Hey, well, hop back in here right now. We got Josh Stoddy back with us. Sorry we had to cut you short there. I know you had some racing to do.
Yeah, things came quick there. I didn't know we were going to green there.
Tell me about, is there anything that you can take from this simulator back to real life, Josh, or not?
For sure, Jamie. I mean, like I said, these are a lot touchier. Our cars are a little more forgiving, I feel personally. So I feel like if I can get good on the touchiness of this, when I get in the real car, it should be, it's pretty realistic. I mean, you squeeze the throttle, you do get loose off the corner, and if you miss the line, you almost create your own push with the car, you know?
Hey, and how cool is it? I mean, really, nobody wants to see guys like LeBron James picking up controllers or, Tom Brady trying to play with controllers. But this is actually what you guys really do. I mean, how cool is it that we can do this as a sport, Josh?
Oh, this is fantastic. I mean, even for my team, I've got a couple of guys on my team that want to get it. It gives them the opportunity to come and race me and experience what it's like to be behind a car virtually. So, yeah, it's pretty fascinating. And for us drivers, it gives us a chance to jump in something that drives a little different for us, like a modified or whatever.
Good stuff. Well, we'll let you get ready for this green flag restart coming up. And thanks for joining us, Josh. Good luck the rest of this event.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Very positive driver, to say the very least, in my opinion, Jamie, there tonight. He's been able to run decently this evening, but a couple things to note. Carson Nagy held for 1 lap for the cause the caution flag. Jordan Sims ended up getting back on the lead lap, make it 27 cars. Now in the lead lap cycle, first driver 1 lap down is Billy Schwarzenberg, who is 6 laps down in the 86.
Justin, I got a feeling like we still got 40 laps to go, but there's got to be a lot of guys running out of the last chances by now.
I think most of the field has probably used up their last chances if they haven't pit at this point, and so far only about 3 or 4 drivers haven't even topped off on fuel, let alone come down to use the faster pair. So the thing is, Tim, Shaw, and Ramsey have not had to use them. Everybody else has had to come down once, whether it's for an incident or whether it's been to make sure they can make it on fuel with the amount of pace laps tonight. But when this pace truck drops off here in a moment, Jamie, gonna be interesting to see how some of these competitors hold up now.
Tim on point. Shaw will restart second. Nick Ramsey third. It got a little physical during the last green flag run. We'll see what happens here. And we'll see what happens with those fresher tires coming through the field. But again, those fresh tires are buried deep, at least the real fresh ones. Jordan House, I believe that's Jordan House up in the fourth now, having a good comeback run.
Yes, indeed it is, in fourth position, and he's the first driver on the fresher tires. He's had to come in 4 times to get repairs tonight, but his white, blue, and black machine currently trying to catch up. However, was still 4/10 off the top 3 drivers last time by, and is losing ground in 3 and 4.
And a Hornet's Nest again, knocking about a 15th spot. There you see Andy Camrath working Matt Pritico over, the leader of that group. Pritico, Camrath just bounced it off the concrete. Now Camrath looks to the inside of Pritico. Gressel now making, now they've made contact. Oh, they get hooked. 28 of Dyson involved, Wicked involved. About 8 more involved in the back.
Yeah, that was not pretty. That was not pretty. Camrath, I believe, might have used already his fast repair and just ended up helping Pritico around. Hit his left rear and then just floored it into his door all the way down to the inside wall before they swung up the racetrack and collected everybody else involved.
Well, again, like we saw last Sunday in the virtual NASCAR race, maybe virtual tempers flaring here, Justin.
Potentially, to say the least, and shouldn't surprise you, Jamie. End of longest line again for the 35.
Ryan Dyson took a whale of a lick in that 28 car coming across the straightaway. He got T-boned.
Yeah, he had nowhere to go, Jamie. Just kept on going down to lower and lower and lower. Problem was, so were the R2 cars as they were stuck together. Still 38 laps to go in this race, though, and interestingly enough, Tim, Shaw, and Ramsey are not willing to sacrifice the track position despite the potential possibility of fuel coming in if they were to go to the checker.
Well, Jordan House has fresher tires, but the question is how much fresher are they? And how hard did he have to work his way getting through that field on the way back up here?
I'm concerned more about the damage on the race car if you're the 8 machine, because he's got some massive licks on that car, Jamie. Dyson does as well. You have to look back to guys like Gressel, Trey Lapsevich, Joe Lawrence to find the next cleanest car on the racetrack.
Just had a message pop up. This is Mike Morris watching on Facebook or commenting on Facebook. Glad you're enjoying the broadcast. As well, I got to say a big hi to one of my other favorite announcers, my buddy Tim Terry from out east. He's the voice of the Parts for Truck Maritime Pro Stock Series, and he's watching definitely here tonight. Watching from Ruscorn, Ontario, Daryl Pear. Now we're getting some Facebook messages come in. Glad people are enjoying the broadcast.
To look back to Tim Terry there, Jamie, he's someone I actually work with a lot on the virtual side too, because he's also one of the voices of the NASCAR Coca-Cola iRacing series. Definitely a very knowledgeable guy who knows just about every single in and out when it comes to the virtual racing history on iRacing. He can name a lot of the guys who have won on the service in the pro level. He's also someone that I've worked with a lot, even on the Saturday Night Thunder race at Bristol in the lead up to Sunday's race on Fox. Such a great guy to work with, have to say, for Tim Terry.
Just got the note from Epic Racewear, Dan Bailey. Hope you're enjoying the broadcast. $100 again to the winner from epicracewear.ca, and then $50 to whoever finishes 5th, 15th, and 25th. Looks like we're getting all set to go here, Justin.
Yes, indeed. Cole Tim in control of the field. Dale Shaw in second. Nick Ramsey in third. Jordan House in a demolished car in fourth. Jamie Dyson rounds out the top five. Pace truck is off. Tim brings them to the green flag. A huge launch compared to the rest of the top three as they dive their way to the bottom in 1 and 2. Top three continue to cycle forward. House losing 4 or 5 car lengths. Jamie Dyson trying to hold on. Keep an eye on 6 on back though, as the caution is out again on the circuit, Jamie. Pete Shepard again. This time, door-to-door contact with Cole Powell sends him and Jason Wood sliding into the pit lane.
There's Andrew Gressel, the road warrior. He was having a great battle with Tyler DiVienzo. That was up on your screen just before that yellow came out. Now let's see if we got a view on what happened with P.D. Shepard, the London driver. Contact with Cole Powell.
Yeah.
And then it was the 49 Jason Wood who came in late to the party. P.D. Shepard, a member of the Roush Racing Gong Show, Justin.
Yeah,
back in the day, Jack Roush had a Racer X program and he ran a reality TV show. And I believe it was season 2. He invited P.D. Shepard, was one of the invites to the Roush Racing Gong Show, and he ended up doing well enough that Roush signed him to a contract. He actually did a bunch of NASCAR truck races in Roush Racing equipment. I remember he had a starting an ARCA car at Michigan as well, was running top 5 till a tire failure. Ran pretty good at IRP one year, or Lucas Oil Raceway, in that Roush truck. Unfortunately, couldn't find sponsorship. Ended up back here north of the border. Going to be a regular on the APC Tour this year. Jamie Cox's equipment. Cox stepping out from behind the wheel and putting P.D. Shepard in. Couldn't be a better replacement for Jamie or better substitution. P.D. Shepard is talented behind the wheel, but tonight, not his night.
Yeah, he just hasn't had any luck this evening. It's been involved in a few incidents in the back part of the field, but it's just been the name of the game. If you're up at the front, you're likely going to stay there, as we've seen so far with the flow of the race. Still, though, coming up to what would be about 36 green flag laps to go when the pace truck once again drops its way off the banking once more.
Just got a note from Jamie Hartley. He's a crew chief in real life for the big game hunter Jesse Kennedy. Longtime wrench turner and signal caller on that car. He's making his call, 78 for the win. Jordan Lawrence sitting 8th right now. We'll see if that 78 machine can get to the front. And what kind of wager he's got down on it. Billy Zardo has come to us on Facebook. Great race. Once everybody gets used to it, we'll get better. Awesome job to all. Well, thanks for watching, Billy. You're right, it will get better. The more laps these guys turn. Because you can bet, Justin, these guys are all racers. If they didn't have a good performance this week, and we decide to do this again, they're going to be spending a lot of hours in the laboratory between now and then.
Absolutely, knowing there's the importance of performing for your sponsors, performing for your family, performing in terms of performing well, regardless of it's real or virtual. So I think that drive for competition, if we see more competition for these competitors against each other, it's going to push a lot of these drivers for hours and hours to learn what they can do to be up to speed to the virtual side compared to the real side.
Marianne Cordero from North Country Property Maintenance enjoying things. Got some followers from the States. Folks from Michigan checking in on Facebook. Glad you're enjoying the broadcast. Getting set to go. Cole Tim out front. Dale Shaw second. Nick Ramsey third. 36 to go when they get the green. And it'll be Tim on point. Gets out to a little bit of a gap. How about Ray Morneau getting on the shuffle? Back in about 6th spot.
Yes, indeed. A lot of good fighting among some of the drivers, but the side-by-side goes the single file. Shot up for Jamie Dyson from DiVienzo. DiVienzo gives him a second shot. There goes Jamie Dyson. Caution flag is out. Stoney hits the inside wall. Nowhere for the rest of the field to go as they check up.
Andy Camrath nowhere to go. He drilled Dyson like a nail through a 2x4. Not sure how much room Dyson gave DiVienzo on the bottom. Looked like he might have pushed up.
I mean,
A little tap getting into the corner. Left that little opening. That was 2 guys racing for position with 34 laps left to go, and neither one giving an inch right there, Justin.
exactly. It looked like Jamie was trying to arc it back down towards the bottom line for the corner exit, get a good launch off the corner. Problem was, again, as you said, the hole was left open. DiVienzo tried to take advantage, and that's what happens when you have 2 cars meet at the same point with that same line in mind.
Now, I will tell you this, Jamie Dyson did do a whale of a job. He did get tapped going into the corner. Did a heck of a job to save it before that point and somewhat keep it near the bottom groove. I mean, that thing could have very easily ended up towards the wall, but he did make the save.
Problem is, the rest of the drivers who couldn't react in time gave him a lot of potential motor damage in that, and for obvious reasons, DiVienzo, end of longest line penalty for the bump and runs.
Well, we got one driver chiming in. Jay Dewar has said, I think we should pick MIS for the next race. That's a nice wide racetrack.
But the super late models perform well at Michigan, you think, though? I've heard of it happening on iRacing.
I did actually. I'm old enough, Justin, to have seen super late models at Michigan Speedway. The year was 1985. It was September, back in the days of Dick Trickle and Bob Seneker. And yeah, they raced them there. I'm going to take one for a spin maybe after our broadcast, and we'll do the test, and maybe Jay Dewar can get his wish. I've also got a note from our tech man, our head cop, Daryl Timmermans. He's going to need the top 5 to tech after the race, and it's going to be a long drivers meeting next week.
Understandable. But, again,
There will
so
be some
far,
chastising.
yeah. Yes, indeed. But keep an eye, I think, here on Joe Lawrence. You've talked about him a bit before. He's now up to the top 5-ish or so. Yeah, the top 5 in the field, along with Trey Lapsevich. They're pushing and charging hard.
Well, we got a Stoddy fan posting. Hashtag Primetime Stoddy on Facebook. Jamie Klumper, Delaware Speedway late model driver, chiming in. He's cheering for Nick Ramsey. Looks like Jody Stoddy chiming in. Laking Motorsports fans, all here rooting for Cole Tim. Jim Maurice, a CASCAR Super Series legend from Georgia, was watching. Dave Tracy, he's cheering for Ray Morneau. Justin Cullison has made an announcement. More prize money on the table. A bag of pepperettes for a 13th place finish. Green flag set to fly. We're going to go back green. Tim on the point. Shaw in second. They worked through 1 and 2.
Tim already up to about a 3-4 car length advantage as they continue to try and find any way to get up to the field. First side by side features the dive bomb from Ray Morneau for 9th. Stoddy pushed off the bottom, moved the 03 up inside 9th position.
Good job by Morneau to get by Stoddy. Oh, the problem's on, I believe that's Morneau's car. Looked like it just hooked going down the backstretch. Morneau's had a pretty good night. 20.2 fast time. Not too many guys have dipped down in the 2 here in the feature time. But it looked like that car just hooked left.
It almost looked like there was a technical issue with one of the drivers who was trying to push forward, and it ended up getting Morneau as the caution flag was waving. Just unfortunate for Morneau, ends up being an innocent bystander and all of that, but the real trouble again involving the 73 again and a couple other drivers off turn 4.
Yeah, there was a black car that just appeared there for a minute, Justin.
And that would be the 31, yeah. He was in top 10. Jace, that was Franklin.
So was that the second caution after the caution?
I believe so. Yes, indeed, because remember, there was that stock up off of turn 4 at the back part of the field, and because of that hit we just seen, Franklin gets an end of longest line penalty. Very intriguing moments to say the very least. By the way, it would given the annual L for the caution just seen up on the replay as everyone looks to contest for positions third on back. Jamie, there's still 32 laps to go. What do you think's going through the minds of some of these drivers, you think, in your opinion?
Well, it's just a question of who's going to do the best job on the restarts. And Nick Ramsey, he pitted, correct?
Yeah, I believe he did. Yes, indeed. For those wondering, yes, he did pit for the fuel and the tires. Only Shaw and Tim have not pit at all in this race.
And it's a pretty recent pit stop. That could be a monumental moment here. But still a lot of cars left on the track. We'll see. Does Shaw have enough gas to finish? I'd like to welcome Dwayne Stoddy watching. Dropping us a note on Facebook. Obviously, we know who he's cheering for.
Mm-hmm. Give credit to that 17. Got bumped, still in back in 21st position. Might be in decent shape despite the slam hard to the inside wall.
So 1 to go. We'll go back green. Like to say hi to Jay Chappell, listening. Sure, he's cheering for the 78. We also have a note from somebody else on Facebook to ask the fans to back up away from the fence. We're getting set to go here in Cheston. Cole Tim out front. Here comes Jordan Lawrence now putting the heat on the Road Warrior into 1.
Lawrence tried the dive bomb, forced back into the bottom line as he tries to set things up behind the 81 down the back straightaway. Russell still holding on to the defense.
I believe we got one of the fence deep in the field.
And yes, we do. It's Stoddy. Just as we sung his praises, he was flipped upside down by the 86. That's what we call Jamie and iRacing World commentators curse.
I think the curse might just be racing around the 86 tonight, because Schwarzenberg has been the eye of the storm on numerous occasions.
Yeah, and this is going to really shake up the field, I think, because Cole Tim just hit Jamie. Only Dale Shaw has not come down because of this caution.
Well, we saw that Dale Shaw is an expert at saving fuel. Got him a podium finish, Great Canadian, last year. Hey, we'll hop in here online and welcome Petey Shepard to the broadcast. Petey, can you hear us?
Hey, I hear you. I'm just hear some other guys on the radio too, but I do hear you.
How are things going out there for that 22 car? Looks like a rough night.
I'm just kind of riding around. You know, I can't thank everybody at APC enough for doing this, putting this show on. It's been entertaining. It's the longest I've ever been in my VR in this VRX simulator. So I'm just having a lot of fun and really enjoying myself here, even though I'm kind of coasting at the back and learning some things.
Hey, a couple years out of a race car in terms of having a full-time ride, chasing a championship somewhere. How geeked up are you at the opportunity to get behind the wheel of Jamie Cox's 22 and take over the controls of that bad boy this year?
I'm really excited. I mean, Jamie Cox is stepping out of the seat. He's a class act, as an incredible race car driver himself. So I've got big shoes to fill. I want to get some experience under my belt, and I think that the repetition of running race after race, and like I said, I'm so excited to be driving that APC car, and I believe that we're going to have a good year.
Hey, tell me about the iRacing thing. What kind of setup you've got? How long have you been at it?
I've had iRacing for quite a while. I think I got it around Christmas time, maybe 2 years ago. I'll test on it once in a while. I've only ran a couple of races, so all the tire changing and damage repair, that's kind of new to me. Smacked the wall in qualifying, so my laps didn't count. I didn't know that was a rule. So another thing learned, but like I said, I'm having a lot of fun. I know it's a long race, but it's probably the best thing for me.
Now, I know it was a long time ago and technology's come a long way, but I mean, back when you were involved with the Roush driver development program, did you ever get into a simulator down there that was anything like this, or has it advanced past that now? Tell us a little bit about it.
Oh yeah, it's well advanced. Believe it or not, I had my day back on the old NASCAR Racing 2003 sim. I think the same guys created it, but my dad built me a simulator. I had a LaJoy seat, and I went to town on that, and I did a better job on that than I'm doing tonight. But I did have a little bit of a background on it, and I think it was helpful. And just as this is even that much more helpful now.
How cool is it that unlike a lot of other sports, we don't, even though we're taking time off, we don't really have time off, we can still do stuff like this?
It's incredible. Like I said, things have changed so much. That's why you're seeing so much young talents becoming dominant so fast now. That these guys are on this all the time. They have the time. Some of us work for a living, and it's a little bit more difficult. But oh, got a bump from behind there. I might have caused some of that. My bad. But I think everybody was checking up. It wasn't just me. But anyways, yeah, it was. It's been a lot of fun, and yeah, I'm excited to go green here in a bit. It looks like we're delayed though.
Yeah, somehow it looks like the 07 has ended up upside down.
Yeah, with the checkup here, Jamie, everyone slammed on the brakes, and Ramsey hit the back end of Ryan Dyson, and then got flipped over by Cole Powell in that checkup sequence with Pete Shepard. So that is the big one.
Wow, he got drilled from behind by Tyler DiVincenzo, and then Cole Powell was right there and finished him off. Did he have a reset left?
He's been up at the front the whole race, I believe. So the problem is he's now has the tow truck situation, and everyone's now got to catch up to this pace car here. Now an interesting start with one to go.
Tough break for Nick Ramsey. Was solid all night long. Now the question is, and the biggest question is the gas gauge on that 83 car. Shaw will lead him down the green. House in second, Gressel up into third. Here comes Jordan Lawrence in the 78. Look at how big of a difference tires make. Lawrence has got some much fresher sneakers on that thing.
You're in trouble in the back.
If the 81 is actually pitted or not.
Yeah, the 81 has had to come down for service at one point, but Matt Lockwood and a bunch of other drivers 13th on back nearly lost control. They've been able to save it. Kaden Lapsevich, though, drives to the inside for P number 6. Trevor Culver gives him the spot. Jamie Cox follows the Conga train down to the bottom as they look to freight train into the top 5.
Yeah, they shuffle an orange car back a spot. I can't tell whether that's Culver, I believe. In the one machine still running out there. And how about Jordan House? He's got his hands full. He's got Cox beating down the back door now. He tries to slam the door on Cox. Lapsevich just got by him. Lapsevich takes off in pursuit of the Road Warrior.
Switch trying to close up to 3rd position. Grizzle trying to close and pull on away. Jordan House behind them, though, slipped off the bottom. Here comes Jamie Cox diving to the inside for P6 as the 022 takes away the spot. House continues to drop back to the field down the back straightaway.
Well, maybe House took his fresh tires too soon, and those fresh tires are now not so fresh anymore. 22 of Cox slides on by and dances away from the 8 of House. And meanwhile, the guy on the move, Kaden Lapsevich, was about 10 car lengths behind that 81 of Gressel. He's reeled him in. He's now a car length off the back deck, working through 3 and 4. Down to the stripe, Kaden Lapsevich looking to make a late charge. 25 laps left to go. His tires are fresher than everybody else's in front. Yellow flag out now.
Matt Lockwood spun around the back straightaway here this time, Jamie, in this situation where it was 2-3 wide and about 15th on back. Ryan Dyson just tagged the 15, it looked like, trying to battle in that grouping.
So Billy the Kid Sportsenberg, he has been parked for the evening in the green machine number 86. Sure Billy will be up on that rig before we do this again. You bet your bottom dollar. And a lot of cautions. The iRacing cleanup crew's done a pretty good job. I don't know if they do as good a job as the Delaware safety crew. I see Ken McKay and the boys listening right now. Shout out to Ken and the folks from the Delaware safety crew. Also Robbie Thompson listening out in Nova Scotia. Former car owner for Traden Lapsevich.
Things are getting interesting, though, I have to say, with how this race is cycled out, because now you've got guys like Joe Lawrence and Traden Lapsevich. Now in the back bumper of Dale Shaw, who's still on the oldest tires in the entire field. You've got Gressel still holding on to a top 5 position. You've got Kaden Lapsevich, one of the biggest movers throughout this field at this point. And again, you have to have an eye on the fuel gauge. Right now, Shaw's in that situation. Have to say this, though, as well. When it comes to a lot of the incidents, many of these drivers are still new to the service. We talked about that a little bit at the top of the broadcast. You don't have the same amount of senses you have unless you really dive into your finances to build that into your sim rig. Whether it's a butt kicker, whether it's a shock absorbers, or whether it's something along those lines. Many of these drivers have to go by, in a lot of cases, either the force feedback in their steering wheel and or just what they see on the racetrack. And we're seeing in some of these cases that judgment is coming into play in some of these incidents tonight.
And we got another big shout out on Facebook from Helen Shaw. Guess who she's cheering for, Justin? Dale Shaw's grandma with the big shout out. Hope she's enjoying the broadcast here this evening. Barry Watson wants to know if virtual rivalries turn into real rivalries. Fun to explain in the pits when we finally get there.
At this point, though, you have to think about this, Jamie. If Dale has to come down, he will likely lose the chance at winning this race with how this is cycled out. Yes, there's still plenty of green flag laps on the timer. The problem is, if he sacrifices the track position, can he make his way through 23 lead lap cars. I think he's gambling that he can't do that for obvious reasons.
Trying to get a locate on where Cole Tim's running right now. He obviously pitted 1 or 2 cautions ago. 16th, Justin says. So moving up. An eye on him. Shaw gets a good jump over Jordan Lawrence. It dusts Jordan Lawrence on this restart. That might have bought him 10 laps or so, Justin.
Everyone went to the top except for Dale Shaw. He jumped it from the bottom side. Able to pull away by 6 car lengths into 3 and 4 this time as they continue to run along the yellow line. Still, everyone trying to get into the proper rhythm. Keep an eye, though, on 4th on back as the Lapceviches have a sandwich around the 81. Trent Lapcevich got the wall. He's damaged the right front suspension, Jamie, in this situation. Here comes the 81, side by side off the corner.
He's in a little trouble with the Lapceviches. Trayton on the bottom first. Here comes Caden as well. They'll shove the road warrior to the high side. On the backstretch they work. Now Caden trying to take advantage of the little brother. Look at these 3 guys go at it. Caden, Trayton, and the road warrior.
Trayton Lapcevich still fighting on the bottom side for 3rd position. Trayton Lapcevich up on the top. Greshel still keeping it side by side. Lapcevich, Trayton Lapcevich with a better run. Caden Lapcevich knew he got a shot. Just can't get clear. This time he does. Trayton Lapcevich gives him the space. His brother Caden up to 3rd.
I think the last time down that backstretch, Andrew Gressel thought about making it 3 wide for a second. Still 20 to go, though. Lots of time left for those guys inside the top 5. Here comes Jamie Cox as well. He's joining that party.
Jamie Cox closing in quickly. Gained 2 tenths last time by in the APC total machine. Still can't get to the back bumper quite yet of the Ford in front of him. And Greshel, as they continue to run that line. Still consistent pace, though, amongst the top contenders as they continue to maintain rhythm.
How about Jamie Cox, who's picked up 0.6 of a second from his practice time earlier tonight. Now making a charge in this 22 machine.
Still looking to reach his
6 right now, going after Andrew Gressel in 5th. Trayton Lapcevich sits 4th with Caden Lapcevich 3rd. Jordan Lawrence still 2nd and leading the show. Still Dale Shaw, 18 laps left to go. Does Shaw have enough fuel?
Going to be the interesting thing up towards the front of the field. Shaw currently working his way into 3 right now. Gained another 10th last time by. Joe Lawrence still trying to fight his way forward. But the 83, despite having the oldest tires in the whole entire field, still gaining more time. In fact, dead even just about. With the 78 down the back stretch they rumble. Lawrence slipping off the corner. All of this is formed up here, Jamie, on this racetrack. Things getting interesting for that battle. 4th on back again. Trayton Lapcevich, he's still fighting tooth and nail to hold on in front of Gressel and Jamie Cox with a damaged race car. The 81 dives to the inside. This is for 4th. Trayton Lapcevich with the squeeze. The 81 with the wheel. Trayton hits the wall. Gressel pinballed inside. He breaks his left front suspension. No caution as he keeps it off the track. And a big-time incident will potentially take the 81 out of contention, Jamie, with 14 laps to go in the field. "13 laps to go. Dale Shaw continues to rumble his way on the bottom side. Joe Lawrence still in second. Caution flag is out. Ray Morto involved. Trevor Culver involved in turn 4 and the front straightaway. as the 03-1 two Delaware Speedway veterans made contact in the exit of turn 4 to bring us back into the yellow with 13 green flag laps to go. When you look towards the replay, you might notice again Morno was able to carry more speed. Culver backed up the corner a little bit extra, and Ray Morno was not able to judge the distance, unfortunately. Both of them locked it up quickly to stay out of more trouble. But Ray Morno ended up collecting Jason Wood, who collected Nick Ramsey, who collected Nick Critico, and ended up bringing us under the yellow flag with what will be 12 green flag laps to go when we get back going. Ray Morno has been given an end of longest line penalty for the incident that brought up the caution flag between the 1 and the 03 machine. Matt Lockwood has been waved around the pace car. When it comes to Matt Lockwood, he's had some bad luck moments. Now will move his way back to the lead lap. There's currently 21 drivers, making now 22, who are on the lead lap cycle, as though that is now potentially ready to change due to how the incidents have flown in this race, and a majority of the drivers who have already used at least their fast repair and or have had to come down for significant damage repair tonight in this race. Still ways to go in this racing action tonight. 88 completed green flag laps. Joe Lawrence now standing by with me here in the broadcast booth. He's in second place. Joe, do you have a copy?
Yep, I got you.
Joe, you've had to charge your way from the field a couple times tonight. How are you feeling in second place after all the hard work to get yourself back in contention for this win?
Quite honestly, I'm pretty happy with where we are. It's been a really long race, but a lot of fun with these guys. Dale's really fast, so I don't know if I have anything for him, but I'm going to give it all I got.
How difficult has it been to try and manage the tires tonight? It was talked about by many as an important thing, and now it's definitely coming into play with how this race has flown. How have you been saving the tires?
Honestly, it's really hard to save tires. We had to get through the field to get where we are right now, so I don't think we really saved as good as I want to. But I think we're on an even playing field, the top 5 here. So it's just going to be whatever happens here in the next 12 laps is what happens.
As you continue to have fun with the Lapsoviches now and get ready for the start here, how is your railroad program looking for 2020, especially with a different look for tonight's race at the very least?
Yes, definitely this APC Pennzoil machine is it's really nice looking, and we were really excited to reveal it in real life, but it's been postponed for a little bit, unfortunately. But we're having some fun here tonight, and for the real program, we're just excited to get racing as soon as we can, really.
What's it going to take for you to get by Dale Shaw to try and take this lead?
It's going to take a lot. We'll see. I'm going to do all I got.
Let you focus here. 1 to go for the green. Remember, Shaw is the only one not to pick. Good luck. That was Joe Lawrence early in the second spot. Dale Shaw is the leader. Kato Lapsovich is in third. Traden Lapsovich still holding on to 4 for the damaged race car. Jamie Cox's 022 machine rounding up the top position at the front of the field. Shaw dives the corner. Green flag is back out. And a good launch once again for Dale Shaw in the 83 machine as he continues to lead the Congo line down the bottom side. They pull away in the top 4 positions as they continue to fight for the race lead. "11 green flag laps to go in tonight's action. Dale Shaw still holds on to the lead. Top 3 have ran away. Remember, Traden Lapsovich with significant right side damage on the 32 machine. After hits to the wall, Kaden Lapsovich looks to fall, still in the tire tracks of the APC Pennzoil machine. Near tire to tire, near bumper to bumper, down the front straightaway at the flag stand. 10 laps to go from USA. Lawrence once again slides up the racetrack. Here comes Kaden Lapsovich. He types it underneath, forced to check up. Can he arc it back down to the bottom off the corner this time? No. Still held up by Lawrence. Dale Shaw, the king of saving, continues to pull on away by a car length now. He's been saving every corner entry in this one and continues to gain time while doing so. 8 laps to go from USA.
How about Dale Shaw down the backstretch? Jordan Lawrence in his back pocket. And the 76 of Lapsevich, will he be able to make a charge? Less than 10 laps to go, 7 now. Shaw, still your leader on those original tires. Does he have enough fuel in that 83 machine? Look at Lapsevich getting racy underneath the back spoiler of Jordan Lawrence. Now Lapsevich dives to the inside.
And Lapsevich comes
per second, pulls it off.
Yes, indeed, Jamie. He was able to complete it picture perfect to dive his way to second. Now it's the question, does he have enough time to get to Dale Shaw? 6 green flag laps to go in the APC eSERIES 100. Back down the back straightaway, they'll go as the caution comes out. More trouble on the front straightaway, it's Matt Critico and many others involved.
This is not what the 83 of Shaw wanted to see. Nick Ramsey, one of the early factors, ran up to the front 3 most of the night. Gets rolling after him and Critico got together there. We're both involved in the same deal. Gonna replay this coming out of turn 4. Well, Ramsey gave him a tap. And when Critico stepped on it, it stepped out. Ramsey tried to get away, ended up putting himself in the inside wall. Blair Wickett, just an innocent bystander in the 97.
Just been that type of a race for, unfortunately, for a couple of these drivers tonight, but the way this is going to shape up now because of that incident, it puts a lot of pressure now on Dale Shaw, I think, here, Jamie. Remember, he's been saving fuel really strong throughout this night. He still hasn't had to pit for tires. He's been gaining time in a lot of these restarts and a lot of these short runs compared to his other competitors. He's going to need to hold on, though, for 5 more green flag laps.
Well, the movie's been pulling off. He rides the outside rim through 3 and 4, and right when he gets to the middle of 3 and 4, he just pokes it straight down this front straightaway, hits the gas, and off he goes. Well, everybody else is right up on the wall.
I'm surprised no one's tried to follow him down quite yet, though, in that situation, because it is something you can do in iRacing. Cut the corner, diamond it off. In fact, when double file starts happening on some short tracks like, say, Bristol, such as Dover as well, a lot of the guys actually do that, trying to diamond it off, use the banking as a ramp to give them some extra momentum as they shift to the gears and pull on away. No one else has reacted and followed Shaw in that strategy yet, as the Lapseviches have fun.
Trade Lapsevich. He's got 5 laps to get something done. Sorry, Caden Lapsevich, excuse me, has 5 laps to get something done with Dale Shaw. How about Jordan Lawrence right there as well? And the question is, what about Cole Tim? What's he got in 4th spot? Probably the freshest tires of the bunch.
Yeah, indeed. Remember, Ramsey was, pardon me, I should say, yes, Nick Ramsey was the other driver who had some of the freshest tires. Then he got flipped upside down. So Tim might be a potential factor. It's the problem, though, of I don't think he's got enough laps to get by 3 cars in 5 green flag laps.
But we do have overtimes, and we have up to 5 of them.
Yes. Which is a big factor, too.
Which is not what Dale Shaw wants.
Indeed. I'm still surprised Shaw's got enough fuel to be able to continue to rumble around this racetrack, even with how many pace laps there have been tonight.
I know that if he does win, there won't be any donuts. Not because Dale Shaw doesn't have any fuel left, because Dale Shaw will admit he's too lazy. Shaw getting set for the restart. On the point, Caden Lapsevich behind him. See what Dale Shaw does this time. Riding on board with Caden Lapsevich. Oh, Shaw with the head fake on the dive there. He got him. Nice move by Dale Shaw. Opens up a little bit of real estate on Caden Lapsevich, and Lapsevich is probably going to have to catch him and get physical.
And another caution flag, though, on the racetrack in turn 1 and 2. Jordan Sims and another one tonight. This one not of his own doing because Jamie Grover ended up getting turned around, coming across the front nose of Jamie Dyson, Jamie.
That was a lot of Jamies in one sentence.
Yes. Jamieception. Not the good kind.
Oh. Grover kind of tried to squeeze towards the wall. That's the second time Grover's wrecked himself on a straightaway here tonight.
You got to remember, though, Jamie, I should specifically say in that case, some drivers may have only one monitor, some have triple, some have VR headsets for their specific setups. If you have, say, a single monitor setup, you can't see what's beside you. You're counting on specifically your spotter calls. So if you don't have your spotter figured out correctly, have a good spotter package where it's very high shaft hood to be able to tell you where your car is precisely. You see incidents like that, and in turn, just a misjudgment of maybe not knowing there was a car coming on the outside still. Still keep in mind there are still 4 green flag laps to go in this race. And there are still some very beat up race cars, Jamie, which are holding on by the teeth or the thin portions of their duct tape at this point. And I think Traden Lapsevich, pardon me, Jamie, just hit the outside wall down the back straightaway with the right front tire. That's not going to help the race car. His car's been beating up suspension-wise and just took a hit. Rest of the field still continues to chug on here as we get ready for another interesting restart. Lights are now out on top of the official iRacing pace truck, getting waved around the pace car. Cole Powell and Ramsey get ready for another restart. 4 green flag laps to go, coming towards 3. Dale Shaw is your race leader. Caden Lapsevich still in the catbird seat. Joe Lawrence is in 3rd. Cole Tim is in 4th on the freshest tires out of the top 5. Jamie Cox's machine rounds out the set top 5. Traden Lapsevich is in 6th with the demolished race car. Jade Franklin's in 7th. Jordan House in 8th, and a checkup train of Ryan Dyson and co 9th, making contact for this restart.
This is what I want to see is Dale Shaw getting on the hammer pedal. He does it, getting away from Caden Lapsevich. Lapsevich, 4 laps left to go to run down the 83. Shaw has been on rails all night long, lost the lead briefly to Cole Tim after a little bit of contact, regained it, has not made a pit stop yet. And he gaps Caden Lapsevich a little bit more that lap. Lapsevich, his hands full. Jordan Lawrence out the back Lawrence trying to get up in the second spot. Cole Tim runs third. Jamie Cox up into fourth. But out front, it's all Dale Shaw, the man from Guelph in the 83. Shaw Motorsports Wellington Systems Incorporated machine. That red car, white stripes down the top. Got a comfortable enough lead over Caden Lapsevich. Out at 4 and to the white flag this time by. Here comes Dale Shaw.
And the caution is out, though, on the circuit, so green-white checker time. After some trouble again in the back part of the field, just off the final exits to the official end of the race. If he got the white, the race would have been official, but it's the 97 of Tyler DiVianzo who ends up clipping the apron in the 97D and putting us back under yellow from 14th. GWC.
Well, we got Dale Shaw with us on the broadcast channel. Dale, how you making out there?
I think we're in trouble.
Good to the last drop, right?
I got 2.7 left, so I only got one green-white checkers worth.
I already explained to the folks that if you win, whether you got fuel or not, you're too lazy to do donuts anyways, right?
My old man always told me if I ever did donuts in one of his race cars, I wouldn't be driving one ever again, so that's why I'll never do donuts when I win a race.
Hey, how about those restarts? That last one, you made the head fake to dive and dive in the corner. All of a sudden, Caden had to check up, and then you were gone again. You got a little bit of breathing room. Good work there.
Yeah, you know, these guys are good. Like, the Lapsevich boys, they're good, and there's no ifs and doubts about it. And they won a lot of races in real life and on the simulators, so you got to help yourself out a little bit. And man, I'm just wore out. I got to pee so bad. I'm tired, and I got about a half a lap to the good on one green-white checkered. So if we get another one, we're in trouble.
Well, we were talking and we were questioning, had you made the right choice by staying out, but you're proving us all wrong right now, my friend. Good job saving the tires tonight.
Yeah, thank you. We got the speed. Like, just even with these guys all together, this thing was working good on old tires, and we got a good groove going there. That one long green flag run, and it's just 3 starts gonna settle it, and then getting through 1 and 2, and then just hitting your marks and not overdriving the car. So yeah, this restart's gonna get wild. If you guys are still tuned in, I would maybe hold on, and might get exciting.
Let's talk about your buddies and the fellow racers, especially the guys that haven't done this too much. Tell the folks that we will see a better race next time with less cautions, I'm sure.
For sure. I would say about half of this field hadn't been on iRacing before this week, so it's tough. I mean, think about, taking, say, a lower division, giving them 3 days of practice, and then putting a race together with half the field never being a late model before. It's tough, but the guys are doing their best, and there is a good portion of these guys that are taking this really seriously, and I just hope we get a good finish and we can celebrate after with a ice cold, I guess we're not allowed to say that on air, water.
You can drink and drive on the sim. It's totally legal.
Sounds good.
Yeah,
okay, guys. We're going green.
Enjoy this. Good luck.
Thanks, guys.
Dale Shaw driving the 83, getting set to go back to green. Caden Lapsevich behind him. We'll see what kind of tricks Dale Shaw has up his speed. It's a little gap now. Caden Lapsevich has got bigger problems. Jordan Lawrence out back with him. Lapsevich second, Lawrence third, Cox fourth, and Dale Shaw waltzing away from the field into 3 and 4. Pushes up a bit. Problems. No caution.
And it looks like the 97D went around again to the back part of the field, but I think the main reason, Jamie, was half the field didn't get going. There was a massive checkup behind Traden Lapsevich that ended up trying for a restart of the field. We couldn't get going. Yeah, Trey Lapsevich stalled the motor, and that's why half the field didn't get going, and that in turn led to so many cars stacked up down the front. That caution flag, I think, here might be the biggest of this entire race. Look at this.
Yeah,
Dale Shaw.
Pit road.
That couldn't let that restack him of the field cost him the race. Wow. Absolutely heartbreaking for Dale Shaw.
Okay, we'll hop in here and get a word with our new leader, Caden Lapsevich.
I don't know. It's not the way I want to inherit the lead, but you know, I think we made a smart move. Come and took fuel and just saved our stuff. So I don't know. It's the way it goes sometimes.
So at this point, Caden, have to ask you at this point. Of course, now the race later, but it's still not over. That's the main thing. You still got to hold on. Drivers like Lawrence, like Jamie Cox. What's it going to take to hold on?
I just got to nail this restart, get through the gears good, and get through turn one good, and hopefully we make it to the white flag this time. I don't know. I hate green, white checkers. I'm not too fond on single file restarts, but I don't know. We'll give it our all and see what we got.
Looks like you're coming to the restart this time. By will let you get focused up. Good luck.
Thank you.
Okay, Lapsevich looking to hold on for one more restart here, Jamie. Reset the field. Getting Lapsevich in first. Second spot is Joe Lawrence. Jamie Cox falls behind. Franklin, Trey Lapsevich, the top 5 positions. Green flag is out. Once again, racing. Will we make it to the checker flag will be the big question for these competitors as Caden Lapsevich looks to have a clean run to the corners and another caution. And it's Jordan Sims who goes around to the back part of the field this time of the 47. Cole Tim tried to take the dive for 16th, instead hit the door.
Well, Colton was in there.
Don't know if it was the smartest of moves though, Jamie. For 16. Everybody else at this point has to be thinking, do we have enough gas to get to the checker flag in some cases here?
Well, I think if Dale Shaw lasted as long as he did, we're okay. Justin, can you physically shut these cars off?
Yes, you can. You can shut off the ignition on the cars. Like you can in real life. You can set up a specific key on your keyboard for your starter in your ignition box, rather I should say. So you can basically press that ignition button, let the car roll, holding the clutch if you want to as well, then fire the engine back up, and then once your engine's back going, you can do that consistently. It's just a matter of making sure you don't stall out the engine though. That's apparently what happened to Trey Lapsevich when we had to go for a restart after they stacked up for 6 on back.
And he's emerged back in the top 5. Trading up into 5th, Jamie Cox 3rd. Is that Jade Franklin back up into 4th, I believe?
Yeah, indeed. He has quietly moved himself back up to the field here, Jamie, I think. He had some technical problems before, which involved Ray Morno, but he's quietly and deceptively just kept his car clean since then and has used his better tires to his advantage. I think he's raced with this set of tires much better and hasn't had to push them as hard. One to go now for this restart this time. Caden Lapsevich in control of the field. Joe Lawrence is in 2nd. Cox is in 3rd. Here, then you have Franklin, Trey Lapsevich in the top 5. Jamie, who do you think's got the best shot in your opinion?
Oh, I think the 76 is controlling things so far. Yep, pretty much 76.
I think he's in a good spot too. I think it's going to take a bump and run from Lawrence for him to have the shot, and then anyone else who is behind them might be looking for a good opportunity here for this restart. Green flag's back out.
Lawrence tries to stay with him, but falls 2 car lengths behind, heading into 1 with not a lot of time left. Jamie Cox rolls 3rd. The 31 of Jade Franklin in 4th. Trayton Lapsevich 5th. Down the backstretch into 3 and 4. Can they get to the white flag, which will make it official? And they will. Caden Lapsevich, your leader. White flag out, presented by 3-9 Productions. Caden Lapsevich out of Grimsby down the backstretch for the final time. He's got a car length and a half over Jordan Lawrence. Will Lawrence be able to get close enough to get physical in 3 and 4? He will not. Caden Lapsevich, the first ever inaugural winner for the APC eSERIES. We got one going around off turn 4.
What a run for Jade Franklin, though, to hold on to a top 3 finish in this one. What a race. What a run. What a field for this evening's action.
Caden Lapsevich, we might have rode him off a little early, but he fights back. Captures the win.
I don't think it's the way he wanted it to cycle out, but he kept the car clean all night. He kept himself good track position all night. Even when he took the tires, he kept it clean. And he's the one who comes out as the victor because of this. And even Dale Shaw has to give the tip of the cap.
He had enough fuel to do some donuts.
I think some of these drivers tonight, based on what we've seen, Jamie, are about to absolutely be popping. And not just trying to pop wheelies in this celebration here. Just an absolutely thrilling race for some of these competitors tonight. I think Caden Lapsevich is going to be over the moon in victory lane.
And I think you're also going to find a lot of guys who got a lot of practicing to do for next time.
I think so. In this race tonight, give credit again to some of these competitors again, trying to get used to iRacing experience and coming away with the checkered flag tonight. I think, Jamie, someone's going to be very excited to speak with you. Jamie?
Yeah, we'll hop in here with the broadcast booth. Caden Lapsevich, first of all, congratulations on the win.
Thank you.
Tell me about that last restart. You were able to diamond that corner. I mean, you obviously saw what Dale Shaw did a couple times. You went to school on that and were able to pull off that exact same move on Jordan Lawrence.
Yeah, my restarts kind of really sucked tonight, not gonna lie. All night they did. I couldn't fire off. I don't know why, but you know, I got behind him there probably with about 10, 11 to go. And then I saw what he was doing on the restart, and it kind of took me back to my quarter midget days because it's the same thing we used to do then. So I just sort of took that into the back of my mind because I knew he was going to be close on fuel. I was going to be really surprised if he made it because I knew I couldn't make it. And, you know, I thank Joe Lawrence for giving me that heads up that I wasn't going to make it because I was so in the zone. I was really looking forward to this, but, you know, it was a fun race. Can't thank APC for putting this on. Luke, all the guys, they did an awesome job with this. I can't thank all my sponsors enough. Bobby Dale Legacy Esports, Rick McCall Racing, the local skate shop, Brandon McFerrin Racing, Thompson Photography. You know, it's been fun. These broadcaster races have been cool, and I'm looking forward to many more of them.
What's on the schedule for this weekend? Is the Rowdy Series back in action?
Yeah, we're racing there Saturday night. It'll be live on Speed 51. I think we're at the Bull Ring in Las Vegas.
Good stuff. Well, congratulations on the big win. Caden Lapsevich, your first ever APC eSERIES victory.
Thank you, guys.
Very happy driver tonight, to say the very least. But Joe Lawrence is the man who comes home in second tonight. He's standing by with me now in his 78 machine. Joe, you're happy about the run before. How are you feeling after the checker flag tonight?
Really happy, actually. It was definitely a struggle to get through the field. It's just a tough track to pass at. Everybody's so equal once you get into like the top 15. I knew Caden had fresher tires than me, so it was going to be tough to pass him. And I just didn't quite get the start I needed to give him pressure.
Indeed. What was one of the main things you really had to adapt your driving style to the sim tonight? Because you got better and better, in my opinion, as the race went on. First, there was some aggression, then you calmed down, then you got fast. How did you adapt as the race went on for your driving style?
Yeah, it was a little difficult. I didn't feel like we were driving too aggressive. It just seemed like a couple of people were just not quite aware of how close we were running to each other. You can only run so low, but it was, and with this, it is net code, so you know you guys might hit, but not actually hit. But once we got kind of settled down and got going again, it was just patience and just waiting for people to use up their equipment, and then I could start working my way back to the front.
Now, what's next up on your schedule? Do you have anything coming up on the virtual side for your racing career?
I don't really have anything planned, just going day by day. It's a lot of fun. I hope APC continues this and we pick another track to go to. It would be fun. I would like to see maybe like a Martinsville or a New Smyrna, something like that would be fun to do. But ultimately, that's up to them. And for me, I'm just kind of picking and choosing races as I.
Anyone you want to thank before we let you go?
I definitely got to thank APC Pennzoil for this awesome looking car. Ryan Dyson put it together. I want to thank all the announcers, officials that took part in getting this whole series on iRacing together. There's definitely a lot of hard work that goes into stuff like this, and it's really cool to see the amount of commitment and newcomers to iRacing alone to come enjoy and have some fun here.
Thank you very much for the time, Joe. Congratulations on the top 2 finish this evening.
Thank you.
That's Joe Lawrence coming home second tonight in the inaugural APC eSERIES 100. Jamie, back over to you.
I'm here. I think Trayton's in the booth with us.
Unfortunately, I believe he had to go tonight, Jamie, but have to say on this point, though, good competition tonight once we got the green flag runs. What was your thoughts on the racing tonight here at USA International Speedway?
When they actually got racing and they got some green flag laps in, it was incredible. And that, again, like we've said all night, for most of these guys, they've never done it before or haven't done it very much. When you watch the pros do it, they do it all the time, and they run a lot of green flag laps. So a work in progress, but once we got rid of a few cars, the thing kind of cleaned up a bit, and I thought the end result was pretty decent. I feel bad for Dale Shaw. Probably had the best run of the night, but Caden Lapsevich had the best strategy.
Yes, indeed, and I believe Trayton's actually popped up once again and is ready to jump in with us, if that's okay. Trayton, do you have a copy?
I got you, Justin.
We'll say hi to Trayton. How you doing, buddy?
Good, how are you guys?
Good, man. No better way to celebrate your 16th birthday than putting up a solid podium finish.
Yeah, I got into a little trouble there at the start. Had to use my fast repair on that one, and then I wrecked again, and my car was I had a skew in it the whole race, so it was really hard to drive. But we came home with the top 3, and I mean, it was quite the race.
So you were running the bull ring with your brother then on Saturday night?
Yeah, I'll be there too. We've been putting in some practice laps for that race on Saturday as well.
How much time do you spend racing every day on one of these things right now that we're on COVID lockdown?
With the Corona thing, I'm all school in the morning, and then after dinner I hop on for a few hours every night.
Right on. How much does it help you driving? I mean, you grew up with stuff like this. You're just a young kid. How much does it help you when you get behind the seat?
I think it gives me a lot of experience trying out different tracks, and it also helps my drive or my racecraft in the real world too.
And you also get to be a crew chief and stuff like this, trying to figure out when you got to pit for tires and when not to. And
yeah, I've learned a lot on the setup side of things through iRacing as well.
Good stuff. I know you got a lot of people you want to thank, Trayton, helped you get to third place finish here tonight.
Yeah, I got to thank Reinhardt Auctions, the local skate shop, Rick McCall Racing, Thompson Photography, and the guys at Bobby Dale Legacy Esport.
Trayton Lapsevich is solid third place finish here in the inaugural APC eSERIES 100. Thanks, Trayton.
Thanks, guys.
That sounded like a very happy driver with a top 3 finish, and yeah, I noticed that skew he was referring to. As someone that does race on the sim a fair amount, you do not want to basically be crab walking down the racetrack, Jamie, in real life or in the sim. I'm surprised he was able to hold on with that for that long in the top 3 tonight in that case.
Yeah, he did a good job, and again, the stuff at the front was very entertaining. A lot of good racing, not a whole lot of contact. Again, just guys got to get used to the simulators, but it's going to get better. And entertaining show. What the heck else were we doing on a Thursday night, right, Justin?
Absolutely, some great fun for some of these competitors tonight. It gives them the chance to go racing. It's the virtual side, yes, but the drive of competition always brings people to racing, regardless of the platform, whether it's in real world or virtual, and we've seen that competition come together tonight. Have to get credit to a ton of the work that was put together behind the scenes by the whole APC series crew and people like Ryan and Jamie Dyson to try and make sure this race went off without a hitch tonight.
Well, I know I've learned a lot about computers this week and graphics cards and sound cards and IT departments, and But oh well, it was all worth it.
Indeed. Well, at that point, guess I'm going to step in this point. Thank you very much, everyone, for tuning in for tonight's coverage here on the APC series, APC United Late Model Series on Facebook and YouTube, as well as on Speed 51. For my broadcast partner, Jamie Maudsley, for director, Brad Owen, Ovens, I'm Justin Prince saying so long. Enjoy the rest of your night. Congratulations to Kaden Lapsevich on the first eSERIES victory in APC competition history.
This is a copyrighted production of 39 Productions, www.39designcompany.com, and may not be rebroadcast, replicated, or saved in any media without the explicit written permission of 39 Productions. The opinions expressed in this programming are those of the host, co-host, and guests, and do not necessarily reflect those of the management and/or ownership of either 39 Productions, the advertisers, or our marketing partners.
Introducing GeForce TV. GeForceTV.net is your new source for action overload. Featuring free live programming year-round and countless hours of on-demand video, GeForce TV will be your first stop whenever you want to see the latest and hottest racing action. See live Friday Night Excitement weekly from Washougal Speedway, and watch the stars of tomorrow make a name for themselves during Thursday night's live microsprint racing. GeForce TV is also the new home for Rivals Race Chat. Watch weekly as Clinton Jeffrey and Adam Ross discuss all the hot topics in the world of motorsports. For iRacing fans, GeForce TV has you covered with hours of live broadcasting from Rivals and GeForce TV racing leagues. GeForce TV promises to deliver motorsports, esports, and action sports you want to see, along with talk shows and vlogs to keep you connected to the lifestyle you love. Visit GeForceTV.net today to subscribe for free. Sit back, hold on, and feel the G's on GeForce TV.